Hello and welcome to the Super Basement Bro Show. I'm Connor and I'm joined by my co-host Tanner and Hasten. So we actually just had a really awkward thing happen where we started podcasting. We started doing the episode.
We were an hour and a half in.
Yeah, we were literally 5 hours in. We realized we weren't recording at all.
Hasten!
It sucked.
It's fine.
No, okay. We started an episode. We were in for about 6 minutes, and we realized we weren't recording. So now we're actually recording.
But think about how long 6 minutes is. Like, that's like a normal YouTube
We recorded
video.
for 6 minutes?
Yeah, it was
That's a long... That's a fast...
What's wrong
6
with you?
minutes.
I know. It's
One day it's going to get to the end of an episode. Me and Tanner are just going to like kill you.
And then we'll upload it.
Anyway, we're going to pimp out everything we already pimped out.
Social media, just go check us out at Instagram at Super Basement Bros. This is a lot better than the first time I pimped it out earlier. So
Yeah.
And then at Super Bros Videos on Twitter, just go check us out. We post.
We
whenever
post
upload.
about every single time we post a video and upload.
Yeah, it usually takes a little bit just because I don't want to. I'm lazy.
And then when we also have like random things where Hasten has to stream because he lost a competition, we'll also post out about that to let you guys know. So
It feels so defeating to repeat
repeat
everything we said.
Yeah, this is our second time saying it, so just bear with us. But
yeah, it's so funny when you lose a competition and then people watching your competition.
I want to actually kill myself now.
I'm having deja vu right now. Anyway, our topic this week is going to be collections. For this episode, we're going to have a bit more of a evergreen style episode, meaning we're going to not talk so much about news, and it's going to be
Big words!
Yeah, it's not going to be so news heavy, so it will be more relevant going forward. So we're going to have the topic, which is collections, collecting. Let us know in the comments what you collect. Out front here, we have some of the stuff that we all collect. And then we're also going to talk to you guys about what we've been playing, what we've been watching. We haven't done that for a while, so we'll start out with that. And then we're going to end the episode with a deathmatch. We haven't done that for about a week, so I'm excited to do it. The deathmatch this week, I think, will be a lot of fun. So stick around for deathmatch. It'll be at the end of the episode. But let's go ahead and start the episode.
Get into it?
Yeah, we're going to start with what we've been playing and what we've been watching. So
Let's do it.
What have you guys been up to?
So-
in the world... Holy crap, I totally forgot to even tell you guys what we are.
In the world of entertainment.
We are a podcast dedicated to the world of entertainment. If you're a fan of movies, video games, pop culture, theme parks, all that jazz, we are too. And we think you'll enjoy this podcast. So please give us your feedback, give us your comments, and we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Give us topic ideas, and we'll gladly do it.
We can
For sure.
almost, well, not guarantee, but we can, there's a good chance that you'll find something you like in our show.
Yeah.
Like, just watch, please. Even if you don't.
Just give us a please. Anyway, what have you guys been watching?
I'll start it off. So I haven't mentioned this on the show, I don't think. I guess I probably have. I talked
A Viking
a lot.
show?
Not Vikings. I watched.
You've
I started.
talked about it.
You tried
Norseman. I got you. We get it. Stop talking.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is actually what I have been watching. I completely finished it about a week ago.
So you rewatched
2
it
weeks.
all?
I watched all of it, all 70 hours of it,
Nice.
70, 80-ish hours.
Holy frick.
Probably. I did a full-time job in 2 weeks.
So you this is your second.
This is my
whole viewing
second
of it.
whole-
That's
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, so
I've only done that with a handful of shows. I think Office, Parks and Rec,
Office
and
is
Breaking
like
Bad.
7.
I think.
You'll. I think when you watch the show, you're gonna binge it.
Yeah,
hard,
I'm sure
because
I will.
it's a great show.
When does
And
it?
that comes out? I think it's like April. It's around when Endgame comes out, right around
Wow.
there. Like so, it's like
What a crazy
it's
month.
like Game of Thrones and then Endgame.
And they're the two like finals to their,
Exactly.
their thing.
Yeah. So
Goodness.
it's like it's a big month for entertainment.
Oh yeah.
And then
then
video
Easter.
games. Easter, yeah.
Oh, huge entertainment. Yeah.
And then oh my goodness.
Easter. My
And
favorite
then
game.
this past week I've been playing Sekiro and getting my butt pushed in.
Your butt pushed in.
It's been so
Got
bad.
a wiener up his booty.
Yeah, there you go.
Sekiro.
Gyobu. You guys will get that. Gyobu is a horse rider. Okay, and he's basically
Is it in Game of Thrones?
His
He
horse
rides horses.
No, this is in Sekiro.
Oh, okay.
So his horse is being me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're
I thought you were
riding
talking about
the
some
horse.
Game of Thrones reference where some guy gets, effed up the butt or something.
I mean, it's probably referenced somewhere in there.
I'm sure it is.
Do you
in
know
Game
like
of
the
Thrones.
memes where it's like the like somebody like does something to piss somebody off and then it like freeze frames and their eyes go red and they're like Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
No.
Never mind.
I thought you were talking about.
And then it's like the or whatever.
No.
And then I got back into Grand Theft Auto, so I've been playing more
what?
Grand Theft Auto. I know it's kind of
we
weird.
all have it now.
Yeah,
That's
we
a
all
random
need,
one.
we should all play
So
it.
GTA 5.
GTA 5, yeah.
Just Grand Theft Auto 1.
Well, I had some buddies at work who
64.
got it on the PS4 and they wanted to play, so I bought it on PS4 and I bought PlayStation Plus
Just to play with friends for one time.
on the PlayStation 4 when I have people on the Xbox One who
So
never
you
play.
own GTA on both consoles.
Yeah, now I do. Yep. And I'm thinking about getting it on PC just because there's cool mods on it.
I'm gonna have it. It's gonna be your new Skyrim.
Might as
Yeah.
well.
It's gonna come to Switch one day. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it will.
GTA 5 on the Switch.
What else have I done? That's really it. I haven't done a whole lot otherwise.
I mean, that's a big investment, though. Like Game of Thrones isn't to be
It
taken
takes
lightly.
up most of the time, yeah.
you know,
Game of Thrones.
Call of Duty, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Since the last we've talked about it, Call of Duty. I mean, we got back into it for a solid, month, and we just like grinded it out hard.
Binged
So
hard.
yeah, I think that's what I've done.
Nice. So, what are your overall thoughts of a Sekiro? Like,
It's hard. It's the hardest
Yes.
game I've ever played in my life.
That's why it F's you.
And I've never played the Dark Souls or the Bloodborne series, which is
Yeah.
From Software.
It's the same people, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the same
From
developer
Software.
From Software. But I don't know. It just feels like first of all, there's no difficulty setting. So you go in
Yeah.
there and you're like, hey, it's probably like every other game that doesn't have a difficult setting.
it's like
not,
it's fair.
it's not
It's not
impossible.
bad, yeah.
It's not like this horse match is going to take me 4 hours to beat.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I haven't gotten as far as I would like to because I can't beat these guys. Like
Yeah.
I'm struggling so much. So I think I need to go back, power up, level up a little bit, and then come back and play it. So
How many like bosses would you say you've gone through?
3.
3. Nice.
I mean, that's good. Like, if you think about in terms of like Cuphead.
Yeah.
Are we
a
talking
good
full size
amount.
bosses or like including the mini bosses?
I mean, I don't know. I've never played a game quite like
It's
that.
hard
so I
because
don't-
like I've beaten 3 mini bosses and then 1 big boss. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
It's rough, yeah.
I've heard it's freaking hard,
It
and
is.
even from people who are familiar with like the Souls type
Yeah.
games, I've heard they're even saying it's insane.
We were mentioning before the podcast how me and Connor were like that with Cuphead. Because it's kind of one of those games where you have to play it in increments. Otherwise, you're going to go insane.
Yeah,
Because, like, Cuphead, I think we're pretty decent at Cuphead. Like, we weren't bad.
yeah.
Like, because we're pretty good gamers in general. Gamers.
well, we can familiarize ourselves with the formula.
Yeah, I feel like because we play games enough that we were able to get into it. But it's just so hard.
One thing I've learned about those games is it comes down to a formula and a pattern.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Cuphead, it's like you will die. No matter you're not going to beat it your first time.
No.
Like if you do,
You have
got
to, because
extremely lucky.
unless you have some sort of like super memorization
Even then,
skill.
it's like because there's new things they throw at you like halfway through. You remember, there's like 3 phases to the bosses.
It'll probably take you like you could probably the only way you could beat it, the earliest you could beat it is after 3 tries, I think, because you have to
Yeah.
get to each stage. Because like you said, they change.
You have to like learn each stage, and the thing is, once you familiarize yourself with the pattern,
Is it like stage 2 and it's just like the guy just spawns and then just shoots a giant laser?
Pretty
Oh,
much.
really?
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, for example, I'll bring up one of the hardest ones we experienced, which was this dragon. Right? Because we started this dragon and we're like, this is going to be easy. Because we got to the second stage in like 2 seconds.
yeah.
We're like, okay. Because his first stage, he's just flying and he just shoots fireballs that go like this. Right? And like
So
a,
once
like
you
an
learn the
infinity
pattern, you just
symbol.
dodge through them. It's
Yeah,
pretty easy.
so it's pretty easy, and I don't think there's much others. Like, you have to get on the right clouds. But then his second stage is he lifts his tongue out, and there's like little fireballs that jump at you randomly. So we're just like jumping in the like Connor will be over here, and the fireball it'll just go like
it gets insane. Like I love it. Like I have a love-hate relationship with Cuphead. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But it can just destroy you.
Yeah.
I imagine like
it's
Sekiro, where
unforgivable sometimes.
There's the points where, and we've talked about this before, and everyone knows this running theme with games, and like gamers know this, where it's like if you're struggling with a boss and you are dying over and over again, just stop playing. Come back the next day and you'll beat it first try usually.
Or just like give yourself a rest because you're thinking too hard about it. Like I remember one of the ones we were stuck on was the Toad guys in the casino.
Oh, yeah.
The boxer guys.
Which
So
is
the
such
next
random.
day we came on and beat them first try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also, like, I remember there were some nights where we would be up. It would be 1 in the morning. We're like, we have to beat this guy because we've learned his patterns.
That's right.
It'll be
We'll forget
another
it.
week before
Yeah.
we come back, and we're going to forget. So it's like we have to do it. And next thing we know, it'd be 4 in the morning. We're like,
I remember that.
oh my gosh. And we still haven't beaten him, and we'd have to give up. Like, we'd eventually, the game beat us. Like, it won. We're like, fine.
Okay.
You win.
And if you guys are gamers, you understand that. Like, it's kind of like the one more game mentality where you're like, I have to beat the game. Like, beat the game for the day. And when a game beats you, it's defeating. When you're
is.
like, oh,
That's why
I have
these
to
games
stop.
like Destiny, Call of Duty, they aren't defeating. You know what I mean?
Because you're always winning.
Yeah, you can always get a kill or a couple kills or something. There's no boss fights that you're
like
going
get
against.
loot.
It's just getting destroyed. Or getting loot.
I think that's why those types of games are so appealing nowadays for a lot of people.
Because it's not so much like, oh, I have to beat.
We always do this, and we always find a way to find another topic within a conversation. But this is actually a really cool topic idea because I've noticed if you look back at history, a lot of old games are really challenging.
Oh, yeah.
And really hard. Like the original Super Mario games, they're not easy. Like the new Super Mario games on the Wii and stuff, easy. Like you can beat them easy, totally. But like the original ones are really difficult, especially once you get to a certain point, they become really hard.
We were over at my dad's the other day, and literally I was playing the original Super Mario Bros. Like the very first one, and we used to always use the warp. The tunnel
to skip to
the like third level, the third world.
I think it's like even level 6s.
I didn't do that because I actually wanted to experience it, and it's freaking tough.
Yeah.
Like they have this specific part where it's literally Flappy Bird, where there's 2 piranha plants that come out at the right time.
You guys never played levels like 5?
No,
8. Skip them all.
Yeah, pretty much.
We do the cheats, and it's like just go to the end of the map and you get the skip tunnels.
Which I actually think there's a big majority of people.
What the heck?
There's a big
Fireworks.
Earthquake. I feel like there's a big majority of people who, as well as us, haven't experienced those levels. Because like everybody knows about that. You know where it is. Like think about it. The underground level, you have to go above the ceiling.
I've barely played that game.
I'm sure that just
It's a
randomly you'd
classic
find
thing,
it. Yeah, you'd be
You've
like
seen it referenced in games.
you'd like jump. You jump on this platform and it takes you above the like. It's crazy. It's the most well-known, one of the most well-known like Easter eggs.
Yeah, it was actually like probably one of the original Easter eggs.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because I find that nowadays games have become much more accessible. Like they want people to not rage quit because there are so many games like even Contra. We were playing Contra a couple weeks ago, the original one, and it gets so difficult. Like of course you can just keep retrying. Like nowadays you don't have quarters, so you can just keep retrying. It's not like it's game over and you're back to the beginning. I think there's some games like that, but for the most part you can just keep retrying or do save points now. But like back then, think about it. They had to put a quarter in every single time they died.
Every time. Well, and like
that would suck.
This totally is another topic.
They're just like money.
This totally is another topic because it even boils down to like how games nowadays try to appeal to more casual. Like they're casualified because like something like
they can make more money that way.
Even something as simple as Destiny, right, which does give you a satisfaction of loot, but even something like the raid, which I don't know if you like know what a raid is, right? So a raid is where you have to you can't matchmake. There's no matchmaking. You have to find 6 other people who are willing to do it with you, invite them to your party, and go into this super freaking hard.
I tried doing
dungeon.
it alone.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's literally impossible because you have to like all stand on different plates to open a door.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things in any game. Like there's an achievement that I have where it's beat this certain raid on hard, and it says like you have this, like one of the rare achievements. It's like you have this out of 0.001% of people, and I'm like okay, but they casualified it for Destiny 2. Like they made it to where you can do guided games, you can matchmake into it, and it's not as unforgiving. Like before, if you died, you were dead, but now you can revive, and now you can like do all these things. And
speaking of Sekiro and getting beaten, I've noticed I've been seeing this. I haven't followed it.
The article.
I don't know too much about it. I haven't looked into it and actually read the article, but I've seen some headlines and controversy going around where like some people think that Sekiro or From Software needs to add like an easy mode. And then some people think like, no, the developer can do whatever they want. Like they don't need to put in an easy mode. What do you guys think about that? Because it is interesting because nowadays there aren't too many hard games. Like hard games don't exist the way they used to.
And when they do, they're considered a Souls game.
Yeah, like a Souls.
It's the Dark Souls.
It's funny because even Cuphead, remember there was all the memes and stuff like that where they even made it like a Dark Souls game. Like they did the Dark Souls Cuphead because it's like Cuphead is a Souls game.
But in reality, Dark Souls is just even, I'd say, an easier version of the older games. like
Yeah.
in back
In
the
ways,
day.
like, I mean, it's harder
Yeah.
in some ways, but in other ways, yeah, it's probably easier because there's save states and whatnot. Like, when we beat Cuphead, that was a huge deal.
I remember the night we did it.
Because the thing is, like, don't get me wrong, like, and this isn't spoilers. You kind of know where the game is going with Cuphead, really. But, like, the devil's the last guy you fight, obviously. But the fight before him is actually
King
the one
Dice.
that's the hardest. Is
Yeah.
with King Dice, like, almost all luck.
Oh
It's
yeah,
when he sends the card.
and he goes like, so
yeah.
it's literally his boss fight. So let me explain King Dice boss real quick and see how hard this is. His boss fight is 8 boss fights.
Yeah.
And you have to beat them all without dying, otherwise you go to the start.
Yeah.
So if you die at the 4th boss, you go back to the start. It's ridiculous. And his boss fight, when you finally get to him, he's like the ninth one. He turns huge and his fingers come down. It's like dum dum, and he sends giant cards at you, and you have to barely make and parry certain
tiny
ones.
hitbox to parry in the middle. And we got so lucky because we had tried it so many times, and Tanner happened to get it.
I don't remember. It's because we figured out that if you use the dash one, where you go invisible,
you dash across.
you can dodge the cards and hit them.
It was insane. But one thing about that game is it was an accomplishment to beat it.
So you've played Bloodborne.
Only like the first 2 hours.
And you've played Sekiro. I played a little bit of Dark Souls too. And we all only played in like an hour and a half.
It defeated us.
Yeah.
No, I'm probably 7 hours in now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I plan to go back to Bloodborne.
As far as
one day.
time put into it, like 7 hours.
Yeah. And like aesthetically, like I want to play Bloodborne and
because
Sekiro.
it's awesome.
Like Sekiro and Bloodborne look right up my alley in
yeah.
terms of like the way they look and like stuff. But it's just a matter of like, it's almost like, do I want to start this right now? Because I know it's going to be so hard. It's like starting a test or something hard. You know it's not going to be easy to where it's like, I'm just going to do something easy for now. I'll get back to that one day.
Well, I remember
I'm gonna do it.
That's how it was for me with Dark Souls. Is when it was free with Games with Gold on Xbox, I played it, and like Sekiro, it eases you in. For the first hour of the game, 2 hours is easy. It's easy mode. There's like one boss that's intended to kill you, just like in Sekiro. But like otherwise, the enemies are like skeletons, and they take like 2 hits, right? And you have like unlimited shield potions. But it hurts you. You get to a point where they're like, okay, now to save, you have to get to campfires. And they're all the way in the frick at the end of the level.
Is it the same with Sekiro?
Yeah. You have to get to like these sculpture idols, and like sometimes before you get to the boss, the closest one is like 5 minutes before the boss.
So you have to like
every time you have to go back and beat the boss.
Oh my
I
god!
gotta make sure to say
Realistically, you can run past them all, but like if you take damage, you might as well just go back and restart and get there without taking damage because like you're gonna need that health.
You know what's a game that goes under the radar as far as like difficulty is actually a game Castle Crashers, which actually just got remastered on the Switch. You know, that is one of the games kind of like Cuphead. It's a tough game. Like me and my little brother, it was a challenge to beat it. Like it gets to the point where you get to the certain levels and you're having to like, it's just like Sekiro. Literally, you play through the entire level and at the end there's a boss. And if you die, you go to the beginning and it sucks. And it's those games that are unforgiving are so satisfying in a way because then you perfect it and you get to where you can beat it. Because Castle Crashers is a lot like Cuphead where it's patterns. You have to jump at a certain time, hit at a certain time.
And I think that's probably like at the end of the day how the From Software games work too. Like you just have to like learn the boss's rhythm and once you
dodge
like,
at a certain
like,
time.
you dodge,
It really is. Like I'm getting close to where I can finally beat this boss that I've been on for so long, but like I still got to play more because like there's so much I got to still learn to take this mother effer out.
And that's the thing too, right? Is like when you beat him, it's probably gonna feel super rewarding. Like you're gonna be like, holy frick, he's dead. Thank goodness.
Well, and I think that's the beauty of these games because like no matter what, the reward is beating him. Even if you get crap, like you're like,
you get like a healing thing.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
it's like, gosh, dang it.
But like, they don't reward you in this game at all. It's like you beat him.
Well, that's the beauty is like, you beat him. Like, good job. That's your.
I'll
reward.
probably get an achievement or something.
Yeah.
And it honestly is. Like, I mean, for Cuphead, you don't get anything for beating the game. I think you get to unlock the hard mode.
You get to the next level.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what I love is that's your reward. You know, it's the recognition.
Yeah, you
get achievement. Yeah.
That really is a reward for me. Like if I get into like 100 gamer score,
for sure.
Boom.
That's what's so great about Apex is just those random like, it's like, oh sweet, I just did that, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking compromise wise they could do, where it's like, but have you heard about how in the newest Assassin's Creeds they've been doing like an I think it's called like an educational mode or museum mode, and it's like you literally can walk around and if you want you can make it to where enemies won't attack you. It's just like so you can go and explore the world and be able to see everything there is to see without having to worry about dying. And so it'd be cool if they did something where it's like if you want it, because Sekiro looks so cool, and there's some people that it's like they wouldn't be able to like experience the game at all. And the thing is,
see the world.
It's like because it would be cool. It's like I would want to play it.
See the world or see world?
Sea world. China. Fish.
Ocean.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
What is it? Why use
Lot's word when
small word do trick?
Yeah. But like something like that would be cool, where it's like if you could just walk around the world of Sekiro and see it, and then that way you can see how. Cool
when meet president, they see. They all see.
I was freaking watching. Speaking of stuff we've been watching, I actually just dove into a couple random office episodes.
Oh, I watch Parks and Rec
all the time.
I finally made a decision. Ron Swanson is my favorite character in any of those shows.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you think he would go above freaking Dwight and
Michael Scott?
We're gonna do that as a topic. Ranking,
because I already said Office as a general show is my definite top, but I never said like my favorite character is this person. Yeah. I don't think I did anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
But I've been rewatching that show, and oh my gosh, the stuff Ron says is hilarious.
Yeah.
What were you saying real quick though?
Sorry.
Office?
Oh
no, you're good. I was just gonna say I think I've decided what my favorite episode is. I think originally it was Gay Witch Hunt, but I think my new favorite is Threat Level Midnight. I freaking love that episode, dude. I was
with Golden Face,
and freaking there's the part where
that would be Toby. Your favorite one. That would make sense because it's like you're looking at him as like a director.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
Like, this is ridiculous.
It's so funny. Yeah, when it reminds me of like stuff we did with like Operation M and like our old movies we used to make. It's just like this is so bad.
Isn't it randomly like?
And we'd make our family watch it in like in a serious environment.
Yeah, and then if they laughed, we'd turn it off.
So what we used to make, we still make movies, but we used to make like these really crappy home video like feature length movies and make our family watch them. And there was this one part where your mom hugs you in one of our movies, and everyone laughed, and I was pissed. I was like, "This is supposed to be emotional."
It's a sad song from Fast and Furious where it's like,
yeah,
she's like
from Fast 5.
Hey son, but she's got like pit stains coming down from right here, and everyone's like, oh!
Yeah, everyone started laughing.
And me and Connor are like,
we were. I think all three of us were just like, "What the heck, guys? Why
how
are you
dare you? Like
this is a
sad.
This is a serious sad moment."
And I remember we were next to my dad, and we're like, "Dad, this and that," and he's like, "I thought it was serious," but I bet deep down he was like, "Frick, I can't laugh."
But yeah, it reminds me of stuff like that where I'm like, and then he lightens up on it. But I was freaking watching the scene where he shoots Toby and it replays it like 10 times. Like,
it's randomly too, because it's Jim walking past like the prisoners, and they're like, "You can't take us alive," and it's Pam that says that, and he's like, "Shut up!" and he pulls out and shoots Toby instead.
Yeah, and then the best part is he's like, "You're too late, Scarn," or whatever. Everyone's already dead. And then Michael Scott's like, "The joke's on you."
He was a rapist.
He was an animal rapist. Or something. He was a serial.
He was a wanted criminal.
Yeah, no, he's like, he was a serial animal rapist. Jim's like, everyone just looks and they're like, what?
One of my favorite ones is like where he has to skate to get to the Olympics, and they're so obviously Golden Face wearing a hockey mask. Like, and then at the very end he's like,
die.
"Ready? 3, 2, 1, die!"
Yeah, I remember that.
Golden Face. And then the American guy, Oscar, wins, and then he's like, "I'm sorry, I have to do this," and he strangles him with an American flag.
That's I was like, that is freaking hilarious, because then it shows everyone in the audience too, and they're like, "Oh gosh."
Yeah.
Like he just watches, he's like, "I'm sorry, I have to do this."
When he strangles him with an American flag.
And it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's so freaking funny, dude. But yeah, I've watched just a couple random episodes of Office. I don't even remember.
And then it's freaking Pam's mom in the hospital with the nurse, and she's like,
"Yeah, you got it." Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Let me pat you up.
And then his heartbeat is like, doo, 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 doo.
Oh yeah.
And then Pam is just like, "Oh my gosh!"
And Holly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holly's there because they're.
That episode is so good. I think that's my new favorite. But I think it would be so fun for one day, and this will be way down the line, but I think it would be really fun to do, like, go through every office, do an office podcast, and literally just go through
an episode of
and, like,
podcast.
rank them and stuff, because
we could literally talk about this one episode the entire time.
Yeah.
Because there's so many parts in this one.
It'd be fun to do a topic like our top 10 office episodes.
Well,
too, like,
real quick, I want to mention how amazing the acting is in that show. Because, like, for example, one of the parts where Andy is watching himself. He does what our mom does.
Yeah, he's like,
so what our mom will do is when, like, my little sister's singing or one of us is doing something, she'll be like,
doing it with
us, right? So Andy's watching himself, and he's like,
yeah, like saying his lines.
Like, and that's like,
and then when Michael turns it off, he's like, no, come on. He's like, some people are really shining on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how Eddie's so full of himself.
Yeah. But it's like, that's something that can just pass you by. Like, you know, it's something they added in just for the flair. Subtle. You know, it's a great show.
Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, I just dove into a couple of episodes of Office. Let's see. So I watched a movie called A Ghost Story. This was a Sundance movie from 2017 with Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara. And this movie is probably the best boring movie I've ever seen. Like, it is so incredibly boring that I, like, fell asleep at one point, but it is so good. Like,
how?
The end of the movie, you're like, holy crap, that was crazy. Like, it's one of those, like, mind-bending kind of movies. It makes you think. But I'm not even joking when I say this. 10 minutes into the movie, I think, or 15 minutes, there's a 5-minute shot. 5 minutes of a girl eating a pie. It's Rooney Mara. She sits on the floor, and she's sad. And this isn't even spoilers for the movie because it's literally the basis of the story. It's the description. Her husband dies, and so she's sad about her husband dying. And she gets home after she like sees him at the morgue, and there's a pie waiting for her because someone's like, hey, "Here, condolences. You know, I'm sorry." And she sits down on the floor. It's one shot, and she's sitting there leaning up against the pantries or whatever, and eats a pie for 5 minutes. Eats the entire pie. One shot. One shot. And I passed in and out so many times during this shot. I was like,
you'd wake up and you're like, she's still eating this pie.
I'd wake up, I'd fall asleep and wake up, and it would be the same shot, and I'm like, is somebody like rewinding it? Like, what is happening?
Am I like glitching in the Matrix?
Yeah, it kept going back to it, and I was like, something has to be off, to where I rewinded it when the scene was finally done, because I'm like, there's no way that was as long as I thought it was, because that felt like half an hour. And I went back and checked, and it's legit 5 minutes. A 5 whole minute, one shot, just right now. Picture sitting here for 5 minutes, just eating a pie.
God,
the audience just have to watch us for 5 minutes eating pie. Like,
yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds great for us. But
you may not enjoy it as much as I will.
I love ASMR.
Another thing is the scene ends with her running to go puke. Like, she eats it and then runs to the toilet and throws up. And part of me wonders if it was like legit that she actually had to puke, because apparently I was reading like some trivia about it, and she had never had pie before. Like, I was like, that's a random thing to ever have. But she was like, yeah, I've never had. Oh, whoops.
Shut up.
She's like, I've never had pie before. It was my first time having pie, and I think she really liked it, and so that's why.
Why'd she puke?
Well, because that was part of the scene. Like, she's supposed to eat it and then go puke because she like scarfed it down. But I almost wonder if she legit puked. Like, it wasn't acting. Like,
it was so good, she just kept eating.
Yeah, she just kept eating, and it's 5 minutes of her. It's a full pie. I'm talking.
They were probably like, just go ahead and like eat some pie, and then she ended up eating the whole thing.
Well, I think she was supposed to eat the whole thing, but like, it's not. It wasn't like.
Is she a skinny
magic.
girl?
She's a skinny girl. So I was like, holy frick,
she can put away some food.
Yeah, and then she went.
Like an imprint of a pie.
It's like, oh my gosh,
no! You're not supposed to eat the tin.
Yeah. She started eating it
like what is Patrick like?
Just starts.
This is the first 10 minutes.
It's like, what is this movie? Just
pie eating.
It's like from the Office, the weird guy Gabe, when he shows him those videos, and it's like the weird like.
Oh yeah,
it's
the
like
gross.
And then Oscar's like, is that my grandma?
Oh yeah.
Well, he also has like the soundscapes he listens to. Like,
yeah.
He's like, this is dolphins in space, and he's like, it's beautiful. Yeah, because he's puking up a horse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this movie is like, it's hard for me to recommend it to people because it is extremely boring. Which is saying something even from me, because like I watch boring movies all the time, like, and I'm totally fine with it. But like this movie. It was so amazing, so well directed, so well made, so well acted. Everything about it is like top notch, but it's so slow, so boring. So many shots are like one shot where it sits on something for 2 minutes. Another shot that lasted a full like 2 minutes, I think, is the guy in the morgue when he's dead. It just shows like him covered over the sheet for 2 minutes. Like one shot, it's just sitting like, and you just hear like the lights like.
How is this movie good?
No, because it makes you... Oh, dude, like, I don't want to spoil what happens in the movie, but it is so depressingly sad and also interesting, where you're like, man, what if this is like, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, this is in the description, so this
you should just spoil it. I mean, we always do spoilers on the show.
Okay.
Like I'll say real quick, when I walked down and I saw that he was walking with the morgue sheet open.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So slight spoilers. This isn't even like major spoilers. I won't spoil the main thing, like ending of the movie or anything. But yeah, Casey Affleck, the husband, comes back to life as a ghost, and he wears a sheet over him. He's like literally like a Halloween ghost. Costume ghost. Yeah. Like it looks like super low budget.
I'm Casey Affleck.
Whoa, Affleck. But he comes back and he is literally stuck in the house that he lived in. Like how the whole thing is like ghosts haunt houses. If you think about like the whole backstory and meaning of that, it's like, so are the ghosts stuck in that house then? Like how does that work? And it's like in this movie, it's basically setting up the idea that it's like, yeah, he's stuck in this house forever. So he has to watch his wife every day. He's watching his wife like cry her eyes out. Like that's where these long shots come into play. Like there's another shot where it's like 2 minutes of him just watching his wife bawl on the couch.
Goodness.
And it's like one shot, and it's so
sad.
depressing inside. And you're like, oh my gosh. And he can't do anything. He's just a ghost, and he can't. There's no reaction. There's no emotion because it's just a sheet over his face, and he's just staring at her, and he can't do anything. And then it shows like time goes by kind of faster for him. So it shows her like, you know, going to work, trying to find jobs, trying to be happy, and it eventually gets to a point where it shows her bringing in another man and start dating someone else.
So it's effing him.
He's like,
ah!
No, like no joke. Like he's sitting in there, and then she starts making out with the guy, and he has to just watch it because he can't do anything. That would
suck.
Yeah, and he's stuck in this house, and so it's like,
does he haunt? Like, can he haunt?
Well, he doesn't at first.
Yeah, so, I'd be like, hey.
So at first,
hey. Up the guy's butt. Wee! Whoa! It's like, whoa! Did you just shove a rod up my butt?
It's like, yeah, yeah. No, but so he just has to watch it first, and he doesn't he can't do anything. But eventually, time starts going by faster, where she moves out. She goes on. I think she probably goes to live with her new boyfriend or husband, and so he is just doomed at this house, just sitting there in misery forever. It's like it's literally like a hell, and eventually other people move into the house, and this is where he's like lost it. It's been years at this point, and so now he starts to haunt this family, and he starts doing things where he's like picking up glasses and like chucking them on the ground. So in the middle, and it's like those things in real life.
Is it a horror?
No, well, I wouldn't say it's
like
horror.
Are these scary moments?
No,
are they more disturbing?
In a way, it's hard to explain. I'd say it's more of just like a really depressing drama. But like there's these, it makes you think about what it would be like if that's what like the afterlife is as like a ghost. Because also he's like, there's this point where, you know, you hear things in the middle of the night in real life. In real life, think of when you hear like some weird sound and you're like, what the heck was that? You're like, it's probably just the wind, or like, you know, you make up reasons for it's like, oh, it's the house creaking or something. Mm-hmm. But like in the movie, it answers what those are, and it's like him like accidentally stepping on something or like bumping a glass over or something like that, and it falling. And these kids are like hearing stuff in the night.
How does he interact with the real world though? Why wouldn't he just like write a message to his wife like, I'm alive?
So the thing is like they can't like. The movie doesn't answer a lot of questions, and that's what I like about it. Sometimes if movies answer too many questions, you're like,
okay,
oh, it's like
there's nothing to think about.
Yeah, there's nothing to think about. So the movie doesn't answer like what he can touch and what he can't, because that's one thing I was confused about too. It's like, can he pick up stuff or can he only bump into stuff? Because there's moments where he bumps into like a table and something falls over, but it's like, so can he touch stuff? Like, can he grab? It doesn't.
If he can pick stuff up, like why doesn't he, like when his wife was there, why didn't he go pick up like some of his clothes?
Yeah, and like try to. Well, there is
or like a pencil.
Well, there is a moment I think where she is when he sees her making out with the guy, he gets it doesn't show any emotion on his face, but you can tell he's getting angry because all of a sudden the lights start flickering, and so it like that lights start flickering and some books fall off the shelf, and she's just kind of like, oh, what the heck, like that's weird. But it's one of those moments where it's like if you think about it in real life, think about how many times like the power goes out or something like that, and comes right back on. Or like a book falls over, and you're just kind of like, there's just something weird in the house. It's like, what if it was a ghost? What if it's somebody who is dead living in this house, like, and they're burning in like a version of hell here, or something? This movie really makes you think in like a horrible way. And he's living in this house forever. Like, eventually, and more spoilers if you don't want more spoilers. Eventually, it gets to the point where it's like he's in the future, like. And they ram down the house. He's in like a futuristic skyscraper that's been built over where his old house used to be, and that's where he is.
So now he can go in the entire building.
Yeah, so he goes in that entire building, but it's like this is his life. He can't drink, eat, or anything. He just walks around in this house.
I play video games, dude.
He can't. Like, that's the thing, is, like, from what it makes it seem like, he can't do anything like that.
He just watches stuff.
I would kill an Xbox so it becomes a ghost. Kill a TV, and then be like...
Yeah, but...
Kill a TV.
Dude, this movie, and this is why it's so good, though, is because there's also these moments that you're like, what the heck?
What's the thing at the end? I want to know.
I don't want to fully spoil it, but there is a moment where...
somebody?
There is a moment where he's living in his old house, where he all of a sudden looks over to the house next to him, and he sees another person in a sheet turn and look at him. Like, and it's super creepy. And he just lifts up his hand, like, through, you don't see his hand, but just with the cloth, you know, and he kind of, like, waves, and the person just waves back.
Go after him!
Like, and he can't leave the house. That's the thing, is, like, you are haunting the house. I don't think they can, like, that's the thing, is the movie doesn't answer a lot of questions, but it's like, and they can communicate, like, telepathically, to where they're just like, hi. Hello. No, and legit, like, this movie is so slow, but they're just like, hello.
You're dead?
Hi. It's like, how are you? Like, they know what they are. They know they're dead. It's like, what do they talk about?
No, I'm just a human with a sheet on.
Yeah, I'm here for Halloween.
Wait, you're a real ghost?
Dude, but this movie, it's like, it's not a horror, but it is so haunting in real life because it makes you terrified of, like, what if that is what it's really like. It's like, I don't think that's what it's like, but, like, dude, this movie makes you think, it's like, oh my gosh, that would be the worst. That would be literally the worst.
Wait, so what does he do at the end? What happens at the end?
I don't want to spoil it.
Just say it. I'm never going to watch it.
I know, but just in case if someone's watching it.
I know, but like I said, then stop watching if you want to watch this.
Okay. All right. You guys want me to spoil
it? Yes, of course. All right. No one watches this far in anyway.
I never watch these type of movies.
Yeah, don't watch or don't listen.
Yeah, nobody watches this far into our podcast.
It's true.
We're talking about some movie we were supposed to talk about, freaking collections.
As soon as I talked about the beginning pie scene, people were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm done."
Okay, 5 minutes of pie.
Let's see. I just want to make sure we're still recording. Oh, stop! No, I'm kidding. Basically, what happens is right before his wife leaves the house, It's so crazy too, because like we totally did this with our whole old house before we moved out. So before we moved out of our old house, a lot of people do this. They like to leave their mark on their home. Like, remember we left like initials on top of our like doorways in a spot. So
like see like these.
Yeah,
at the
like,
top
at
of
the top of that. Like
I put like my name, a date, and like my age.
Yeah, and like engraved it in it. So it's like part of us is still there. Even it's just a dumb thing.
Please, people who have our house, don't look there.
Yeah, don't get rid of it, please. But in the movie, she does the same thing where when she's finally moving out, she writes a note. She writes this tiny little sliver on a note, and there's this crack in the doorway, like right here, and she slides it in there and then paints over it. And it doesn't show what's on the note. And he's staring, watching her do this.
He can't see it.
And he can't see it. And he's like, what the frick is it? And
then the house gets demolished.
So the entire rest of the movie, he's trying to figure out how he can get this note. Because he thinks it's a message to him. You know, he thinks somehow it's like a remembrance of him in this old house and like their relationship or something.
Really, it's like, I never loved you. And he's like,
well, and the thing is, and spoilers, once again, the movie doesn't show exactly what it says. The movie, this is how it ends, is he eventually gets it. He is able to grab it, and he disappears. All of a sudden, the cloth just falls down to the ground.
It was his unfinished business.
It was like, and that's kind of what I read some like people's thoughts and opinions about it, and people were like, it's almost like it was his unfinished business. It was like what he
people
had to
like
do.
Of course, like people who believe in ghosts say that's why they stay around. It's because unfinished business.
They have something they have to.
So it must have been like he wanted to say like I love you to his wife one more time.
Well, yeah, he didn't get to say goodbye. That's another thing too, is he died in a car accident. Like he was literally just left for work, didn't say anything to his wife, and all of a sudden he was just dead. And his wife didn't get to say anything. So it's like...
It's rough.
It's super rough, dude. And it makes you really sad.
You're like, I want to say bye to everyone.
Yeah, I'm like,
bye, guys. Bye, teacher. Yeah. You're going to die.
But, but it doesn't show what's on the note. But yeah, that's what I think it is it's probably like, it was unfinished business. Like he didn't get to say goodbye. She didn't get to say goodbye. And I think that was her way of saying goodbye.
How does he get to the note?
If this is the thing, though... Where do you want to die?
Yeah, that's Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Yeah, for sure.
But would it only?
Disneyland.
But what if it only lets you? What if it only lets you in the ride you died in?
Yeah, like Splash Mountain.
It's Tiki Room. Tiki, help me!
Oh my gosh. That would be horrible.
Tiki room. You're just like Tiki.
And then, dude, you could just look outside the window and just see people getting Dole Whips and never get one yourself. You just smell it. Or maybe you can't
People are like rubbing it against the window and like, yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Tiki.
Dude, but just think about that. Like, that sounds like literal hell. Like, being in that situation and not being able to do, say, smell, do anything. You're just sitting there.
What if, like, imagine you guys, you're stuck now forever in this house.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
You can't do anything. You just walk around.
What I do?
Yeah, really. And that's what you do.
I read.
Dude, the movie gets so crazy.
I really like Marvel Studios. The first 10 years. All right, well, that was quick.
We've talked about this movie so long.
Look at
already,
every single
it's so
detail
interesting.
of something. Be
like, because there's this, dude. It eventually in the movie too, all of a sudden, when the house is demolished, the house that he lived in, and it rises up to skyscrapers and stuff like that, and he's in the future, he tries to kill himself.
Jumps off the skyscraper.
He jumps off the skyscraper. He's like, and he does it, and all of a sudden he wakes up and he doesn't wake up. All of a sudden he's just back where his old house used to be, but it's in like the 1800s, and it's like when there's pioneers.
So it's like we're starting over.
Yeah, it's like.
But now he's screwed because he can't get the note.
So
does it ever go back all the way back to time to when he dies?
Yes.
Can he see himself?
Yes. So this is, dude.
He sees
this
himself.
Is why it's so good. It's like it's super boring, but it's so good.
So it gets back to the point where it's like when he's like, "Bye, honey."
Yeah.
Wait, so he could see himself?
Yes.
Space-time
dude, it's so good.
Because then what if he dies again? Is there a second ghost?
There's so many...
And then it goes back in time and there's a third ghost.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Dude, it's so great because there's even this foreshadow moment at the beginning of the movie. At the very beginning of the movie, him and his wife are laying in bed, and it's once again a 3-minute shot of them just sitting in bed together. And it's like, holy frick.
Like
but eventually... Well, no, they're just sitting there and they're like kind of just kissing, like it's this romantic moment. And then all of a sudden you just hear like something crash in the other room, like something fall. And he gets up and he like grabs a bat or something. I don't think he grabs a bat. But he's ready. He thinks it's an intruder, you know? And she's like, what is it? Like, and he checks the doors and he's looking around.
It was my old self.
And he's like, I don't know. And they go back to bed. And yeah, later in the movie, once he goes back in time and it shows him like when he goes back to like when the pioneers are settling, he comes back to the moment where they're building a house in that spot. Because he's haunting, he has to be in that spot no matter what. So
so would he be screwed because the note's not there?
Well, in that moment, but then guess what? He waits through all the pioneer
that
times,
would
all the way
suck.
back.
He's just like,
all the way
frick,
back.
I can wait.
He waits all the way back to modern time to where he then sees
right
himself.
before she puts in the note, and he's like, "Give it to me."
No, that's like what happens. It's like he waits until she once again does. He watches himself as a ghost. It gets so crazy because he becomes the ghost. He ends up finding out he was the one that did that at the beginning of the movie, the foreshadow, where it's like he dropped the thing and they went out and looked, and then he's like.
Does he like look at himself when he comes to check? Like his alive self comes to check and he's just like staring at him, but his live self doesn't know he's there.
Yeah, I think there's a moment like that too. It's like, can you think about that? Like, what if you were looking off right there, and right there is your dead self?
Right in front of me is my dead self, like
looking at you and like,
diggy.
This is horrible.
Please.
He's like, my hell is I just have to watch you guys podcast forever.
This sucks. You guys never talk about the thing you say you're gonna talk about.
Yeah, you're talking about this stupid movie, and I actually keep talking about this though because it's real life.
This is my unfinished business. Please talk about it. Actually, let's talk about collections now.
Oh my gosh, dude! But then that's how it kind of ends. Is he gets back into the moment and he's able to get the note and he grabs it and looks at it and then disappears.
So are there like because this messes with the freaking space-time continuum. If he is there as a ghost and his alive self is there, does his alive self die and then there's a second ghost?
Yes.
And so now it's just like a loop.
It's probably like this loop because the thing is the first ghost.
I hate this kind of.
From
stuff.
what I understand, the first ghost can't see the second ghost. So when he was the ghost the first time,
so he's seen the other.
So
ghost?
when he comes back to the moment to present day, he is able to see himself alive and the first time he was a ghost in that moment, staring at and like he can't get attention of either of them. So it's almost like there's this infinite loop.
So eventually it would just be like, no, you can't see anything because there's like millions of ghosts. Like, what the frick?
Yeah, like
get out of my way! I'm trying to unfinished
business. Dude, that was a ghost. Holy frick!
He moved my elbow.
Yeah,
and shot me.
Just set it in the corner for now. But dude, and then oh my gosh, there's this freaking speech in the movie too. I'm going way too long about this, but it's so good. Like there's a speech in the movie where this guy, this new party family kind of moves, a party guy moves into their old house, so he has to watch this party.
He's like,
all these parties happen. Yeah,
me.
it's like all these parties going on all the time, and he's sitting in the middle of this party, and this guy starts talking, and he's talking about how like it's basically setting up like what kind of the idea of the movie is, and he's talking about how like he's like nothing's forever. Like this girl's talking to him, he's like, "What do you want to do?" She's like, "I want to do this," or like, "I want to blah blah blah," and then he's like, "Well, nothing is forever," and it's like this really dark but also kind of poignant, like interesting idea where he's like think about it, he's like Beethoven had all these symphonies that people really love and adore, and it's like one day though there will be a day where one day that isn't a thing anymore, that could just be gone. It's like you can write something on a paper right now and hope that it'll be there 50 years from now, but it could get burned, it could get ruined, it could be gone.
Yeah.
Like it's like Coco where they're trying to remember them by their memories. Like you remember people from their memories. At the end of the day, that's all that counts. Is like you
memory
that person.
eventually.
But eventually a memory fades, just like in Coco. It's like those people disappear.
That's scary because like think about it. Even if like you wrote something on like the strongest thing in the world, a diamond, then the sun's gonna explode, destroy the
Well,
Earth.
and that's what he talks about. Is he's like 1 billion years from now, the sun will engulf Earth. He's like, hopefully at that point, humans will have moved on to another planet or another solar system.
He's just still like engulfs
He's
Earth,
like-
and he's still stuck where it's
burning
just
alive,
like
like
in space, just floating.
But he's not even floating. He's standing because he can't move from his house. So he's like in space. As there's like asteroids passing, and he's like, "It's getting sucked."
An asteroid just goes through him. He's
Because
like,
now he can't do his unfinished business because the thing's destroyed.
Oh my gosh, dude! There's so many like cool, great metaphors in this movie too. I gotta stop, but there's also he's a musician, Casey Affleck, and when he was alive, he was a musician.
Real quick, because then since the Earth is gone, he can see all the other ghosts too, and they're all just like standing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Hey.
he'd be able to see the other ghosts. Yeah, he's just like, oh, this
So
sucks. But he
they
writes.
watch the end of the universe and God like, and they're like, what the, come on, this
they're like, hey God,
help us!
stop being such a douche.
What the heck, man?
What did I do?
But he's a musician, and there's this great speech by this guy, this party guy, who's like he's a stoner or something, you know, he's delivering this crazy speech, but you're like, oh, this is interesting. And he brings up like how music, like Beethoven, you know, and stuff, won't last forever, but like it could transcend time if time reset and stuff, like all this crazy idea stuff. And eventually, when he goes back to the pioneer days, this gets so freaking sketchy. He's sitting there and watching this pioneer family build their house or whatever, and they eventually get killed by Indians. But one of the little girls, he's watching her, and he's just sitting there, and she's humming a song.
His song.
And this song she's humming is the song he wrote when he was alive in the present day. And so he's sitting there and he's like,
maybe I didn't write it.
and the thing is like, when I read trivia about it, apparently she wasn't even meant to be singing that, but the director liked it so much that he was like, yeah, that's a good idea, and went with it. But like, it bogs your mind, like, wait, what? Like, what the frick? What is this movie? It's so good. It's so boring. Anyway, we're gonna move on.
I don't know if it doesn't sound very boring.
Well, what I mean by boring is just there's so many shots where I'm not even joking. Like I said, a 5-minute shot of her eating pie, and you're like, what the frick? Like, this is so unnecessary.
I don't know if I could get through it. I'd be like, oh.
I just skip past the 5 minutes of pie eating.
Yeah, you could. I mean, really, you wouldn't mess with anything.
Really, the movie's like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, really, overall, the movie's 10 minutes long if you just had the major points.
Because every shot's
All right, we gotta skip. We gotta stop.
Okay.
What's your next thing that you were doing?
Tara, you go ahead. I gotta think. Of
I've been playing Borderlands 2, which we were gonna mention. Borderlands 3 was announced. Woo! Everyone's super excited. We still don't.
Borderlands 3 because I've never played the other ones.
We don't have a release date, surprisingly.
Yeah, it'll be this fall.
They showed gameplay and everything, and then they're just like, see more April 3rd. So I think
you'll get a release date April 3rd.
Yeah, April 3rd. I think it's gonna.
Wednesday.
Gearbox has a tradition. They usually release their games the year they're announced. I mean, Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, Borderlands pre-sequel were all released the year they were announced. So hopefully, I'm hoping this fall.
With me.
So I've just been playing Borderlands 2, trying to get myself hyped up. Black Ops. I don't know how I just don't have fun with Fortnite anymore. Like, I can't play solo anymore just because, I don't know. When I play with Parker, and that's it.
Is this a thing going on? Because I've seen stuff from, like,
so
bigger players.
What happened was, a while back, they added an update where every kill, like, if you kill somebody, you siphon 50 health. Right? So if you need health, it'll give you 50 health. If you need shield, it'll give you 50 shield, right? So getting kills is actually worth it. So, like, let's say I had 20 health and I killed somebody, I'd have 70 now. Like, so that way you're not at 20 health and then you're screwed because you get freaking third-partied by somebody who shoots you once, you know? And so it was a really good addition. It made the game much more fun, where you weren't being totally handicapped, where you would get into a fight. You know, like in Apex, where we kill a team and then a team comes in and immediately kills us right after because we have low health and we're trying to revive and heal up. And they basically got rid of that because it was able to where, like, you were instantly ready for another fight. And they got rid of that. And the latest update to where there's no more health siphon, and so it makes the game a lot slower, which sucks. But I still enjoy it. But that's not why I'm not playing it. It's just because the community is more toxic than ever now. It's so many good players. Because it's like, we use the term, like, sweaty, which is stupid because it is true. Like, if you're trying to win, you're sweaty. But it's just not fun because you can't. You, like, immediately land and somebody freaking 360 no-scopes you. And you're like, the frick?
Like, how did you even get a gun?
How did you get a golden sniper and full shield? But yeah. So, I've been playing Borderlands, mainly Destiny. It's really fun. Hopefully we'll get some Destiny 3 news soon. Which, maybe not. But, yeah.
I don't think that thing has still a life cycle, though, doesn't it?
Destiny 2 is at the end of its life cycle. I mean, it should be over by this fall. It's already been 2 years. This is its second year 2.
What happened with the contract that they signed?
Well, so
it was like a 10-year contract.
Yeah, they got out of bed.
They did. So what happened was when Destiny 1 came out, the contract actually got leaked, which was funny. So everybody knew what was going to happen already. It said, like, Destiny 1, Expansion 1, 2, and then Comet DLC, which was Taken King, and then Expansion 3, 4. Which they eventually combined those. And then it was like Destiny 2, Expansion 1, 2, Comet DLC, 3, 4. And then they were like Destiny 3, Comet, same thing. And then it was supposed to be done, right? But then they got out of bed, like you said, with Activision, which actually wasn't Bungie's choice. Bungie didn't try to get away from them. Activision did a lot of cuts, and they had to drop a couple
Somehow they're not making money.
Which is
Activision.
weird.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, apparently they just laid off a ton of people, too. It's like, what the heck? You guys are so rich.
I don't know how. Like, what's going on?
And EA's like, EA had to lay people off, too. And
yeah,
it's like
a ton.
EA.
It's like, come on.
How do you guys not make enough money?
Yeah.
If you can't make enough money off of, like, EA money, if you can't, like, keep this thing going,
good enough?
you don't deserve to make games.
So what I heard, it's because they started to have to pay the companies they own more. Because, like, Destiny 2 did really good as far as sales, so they had to pay Bungie more.
Yeah,
that's
how that works.
Which was losing them money because they were paying Treyarch more because Black Ops 4 did good. They were paying Bungie more, so they were basically
But that means these games
money.
Are selling.
Yeah,
more.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
which,
it's like,
which I think
that should work.
If I remember right, they did a stupid system because they were getting so confident with how much money they were making that they made a different system to where they were starting to lease their money out to other people. But then they started losing money because of that, because the other companies were getting more than them. So Bungie and them, like, determined that they should just part ways, which was good for Bungie because now Bungie doesn't have to do the whole DLC thing. I mean, they've already started dropping.
What if they announce Bungie did Halos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if they're like, Bungie's doing Halo 6?
That'd be sick.
Be pretty crazy.
Well, they actually already
instead of 343.
Well, so they did partner up.
I feel like a lot of
343
people
for
are
Halo
starting
Reach.
to love 343 though. Like,
Yeah, they're coming. They're starting to cozy up to them more. I mean, because Halo.
I almost wonder if people though,
5.
if they announce Bungie for Halo, people would kind of be worried that they're going to turn it into like a Destiny kind of thing, which isn't Halo, you know.
And the truth is Bungie now is not the same Bungie as it was when it made Halo. I mean, there's a completely different head director, art director, game designers. It's Bungie, but not at all. It's a completely different team.
Yeah,
it's kind of like if
that's one thing people forget about. That's a good point because a lot of people are bringing that up with Metroid Prime 4 actually, because Retro Studios just took over Metroid Prime 4 after they canceled it, But now Retro will be making it. And they made the original Primes. But guess what? The thing is, people were doing they were doing an analysis. It's like most of the team that was at Retro when they made the originals is gone. Like, there's only a few people that are still there from when.
That's Retro like freaking Peter Jackson's company. What's their name? Wingnut.
Oh, Wingnut, yeah.
It's like Wingnut Studios gives you the new Lord of the Rings, but Peter Jackson's not there, and none of the other people are there. It's like it's not the same.
It's like it's not.
So
that then,
people are always saying like, "Oh, I don't want this company to make it." I'm okay with because it's like it's not the same. So Bungie is not the same Bungie. I mean, we just had.
I mean, Bungie. Which one? What was the last one Bungie made?
The last Halo Reach.
What was the one before that?
Right before Halo Reach was 3.
Halo 3 was huge.
Halo 3 ODST was the one right before Halo Reach, but Bungie didn't make that. I think that was 343.
ODST is kind of like the stepchild.
Well, it was. It was like an Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
So Halo ODST was a spin-off just for...
I mean, I feel like since 343's been making it, it hasn't been doing as good.
It's true. I mean, 343 made ODST, and then they made Halo 4, which Halo 4 was good, but wasn't as critically acclaimed as like 3 or Reach. And then 5 was good, but 5 died quicker than any other Halo.
Yeah.
Because 5 got rave reviews. People loved it. It was a great Halo game. They were like, oh, yeah. There was some bad boss fights. But other than that, it did great. And then it died really quick somehow. Even though it had a lot of replayability with like all these new Horde modes and everything. But even I stopped playing it really quickly. But
a lot of the, like... You can't just add a Horde mode and expect that to be replayability.
Well, no, it wasn't just that.
It's like every single game that exists has Horde mode.
And it wasn't just that. It was like they had Forge back, which Forge wasn't in Halo 4 at launch, I think. I don't quote me on this because I haven't played Halo in a long time. I used to be the biggest Halo fan. See, this is what kind of happens is like even somebody like Angry Joe, who we bring up a lot, he is one of the biggest Halo fans. But Halo 5 kind of screwed him and it kind of took him away from it just because it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same experience. So we're hoping big things for Halo Infinite.
I mean, and the thing is that happens with big titles that release games so often because Halo hasn't been that way for a few years, but for a while, Halo was pretty consistent and constant. Like
think about it. They had Halo 4, Halo Wars, Halo 5, Halo Wars 2.
Before that, like I feel like Halo 3, ODST, and Reach were pretty close. Not super close, but I don't know. I just feel like, for example, we all fell off the Assassin's Creed train. Oh, yeah. And the reason why is because it's like, there was too much to keep up with. Like, a game every single year.
Did you mention Assassin's Creed? Sorry.
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was going to bring
up. Yeah, it's like, it's too much at a certain point.
Well, think about it. So, Assassin's Creed, you guys think this too, right? Assassin's Creed 3, it was one of the best ones, right?
I like it. Black Flag is my favorite.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 was one of the best ones. And then Assassin's Creed Black Flag was great. After that, they tried too hard now. They went from 1 a year to 2 a year. Remember? Because then they did Rogue and Unity at the same time.
That was the worst year for Assassin's Creed.
And it was like... And I played Rogue. Rogue was okay, but it was just like a spin-off of Black Flag.
And it was on old
gen.
Like...
And like... That's when they screwed themselves. Because they tried to do too much. They burned out. Which... It's kind of like a philosophy that you talk about in anything. If you try to work yourself too hard in work or school, you're going to burn out. That's what these companies are doing, where they're trying to do too much now.
Yeah.
And Bungie, I'm glad Bungie got away from Activision because they were doing that with Destiny. They were releasing so much content and doing so much, they were like burning out, and the content wasn't as good. You know.
And that's what happened with Assassin's Creed. Is like the games just became not as good.
I mean, even Unity was infamous for its glitches.
Oh, Unity is probably the worst one for sure. And then Syndicate, I thought wasn't that great either.
Did you play Syndicate then?
I played both. I played Unity and Syndicate, not only for like a few hours each.
So that's funny because speaking of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, we've been talking about what we're playing. I actually downloaded Assassin's Creed Syndicate on our Xbox because it was free with gold a while ago. Yeah. And immediately I jumped in and I was like, oh, it's so slow and boring and they haven't done anything to the game. The series has been the same since Assassin's Creed 3.
It was so complacent.
I don't know, it's kind of hard to say because like they spent time on Odyssey.
Yeah.
And suddenly Odyssey's Game of the Year.
Yeah. Well, that's right. That's what I was going to say. That's a good point.
They changed now.
They changed now. Like, Origins and Odyssey, I think, were the step in the right direction.
But before that, because remember, they take like
They took a year break.
From Syndicate to Origins.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we're not making one because his Origins was a big deal when it was announced. They were like, we've completely changed the system.
Well, they made it more RPG-like.
Mm-hmm. Which was good for the game.
Origins and Odyssey, from what I've heard, are like total RPGs.
Which is what they needed to do because I was playing Syndicate, and to be honest with you, I downloaded it for one day and then I deleted it because I played it and the first mission was so slow. and they tried to add this new system. You know, like how smooth Assassin's Creed was, where you would just hold the trigger button and you'd run and you'd kind of just jump off of everything. Yeah. They made it to where now you have to press this one to go up stuff and this one to go down stuff.
It just felt
it was like
clunkier.
I wasn't having fun. Like they added this cool thing where you could like drive wagons, but then like you know how you can go past a certain point and it's like desynchronizes you.
Yeah.
It felt like everywhere I'd turn, it was like I'm like I don't know. It was a cool idea. It was in Victorian London.
I played Origins and I played a few hours of Origins and I really liked it, but I had only rented it.
Right.
And so I didn't go back to it. I eventually got it for Black Friday for super cheap. Haven't gotten around to it yet. I just got it because I knew I liked it. I'll get to it one day. But now that Odyssey's out too and it's getting like Game of the Year noms, I'm like, should I play it? But at the same time, like Assassin's Creed isn't what it used to be, which is I think is a good thing. Like
I think I own Odyssey.
Really?
I think so.
The Greece one, the new one?
Egypt.
Oh, so Origins.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one I played.
They're really similar because they both have an O in name. I always get them confused. Origins and Odyssey.
Well, also they chose Origins and Odyssey, which lately are like two big subtitles.
Think about it, like
Mario
Arkham
Odyssey,
Origins, Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
The Zombies Origins map. There's so many things with Origins and Odyssey. And it was kind of like the year of Skylanders, Skyrim, Skyward Swords. Yeah. There's a lot of years.
There's like even more, but there was a ton.
What I was gonna say is it's kind of upsetting because not lately. I haven't played the new ones, but I remember for a while there, I was obsessed with Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
Like I got every single what were they called? Abstergo artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I got all those. I got all the hidden scrolls you could get, all the upgrades.
That's kind of how I was in Black Flag.
Yeah. Connor got the Mayan outfit, which was like really hard to get.
Black Flag and I think 3 were the two I dedicated the most time to. Black Flag.
I've gone back and played Black Flag, and it still
holds up.
Black Flag I think is the best.
Even the
one.
graphics,
the ship gameplay on that thing's amazing.
Oh my gosh,
it's awesome.
What's weird too?
Best ship play still to this day.
For sure.
And then we've played Sea of Thieves, which is built around ship play.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why that stupid Ubisoft game that's supposed to come out next year,
Skull and Bones,
is going to be only like you can't
get out.
ship play and you can't
get out of your
swing
ship.
across and like that's dumb. Like that would have been such a cool thing. Like they had the best pirate game in Assassin's Creed 4. It's like just make Assassin's Creed 4 a pirate simulator.
That's what the beauty of Assassin's Creed had become, but I feel like they were trying too hard. Is the diversity. Like think about it. They went from freaking all the games were in Italy. It was like ancient Italy, and then all of a sudden it was like pirates. Indians,
American
Revolution, French Revolution, now Victorian London.
What I'm excited for is when they go to Japan or like
China. I think we mentioned that.
Yeah, we've said this before.
That'd be awesome.
They've still got a lot of areas to go. You know what I mean? They got the Vikings, over like in Norway.
Norse.
I didn't think about that. That'd be really cool.
See, that's why when I was confused, the rumors say that it's Roman, which I'm like, that's so similar to Greece.
Yeah, Roman. They could make
like Assassin's Creed. Revelations. That was one of my favorite ones too.
Oh yeah,
that's probably my second.
And it does take place in Rome.
It's in Rome,
Is
and
it?
you like can climb around the Colosseum and stuff.
Remember, because you can switch between Altair and Ezio, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a really good game. That's the first Assassin's Creed I got into. Actually,
oh really?
So
that's the one I think I 100%ed as far as like.
I think Revelations might have been my first one because you told me you really liked it.
I think you lent it to me.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think I actually bought it off you. I might have.
I think you did because I played that copy. Because I know I don't have my own copy of Revelation.
Yeah, I mean it's free on Gold now too, or was or something. Because I swear, like all the Assassin's Creed have went on Gold.
Well, and that's what's weird is because like I know I'm obsessed with games because I. Sorry, go ahead.
So I don't want to. I'll save it for news. Go ahead
and just mention it.
Okay, so games.
We should probably just move on anyway from.
Yeah.
Do
you have any like games you're playing right now, real quick?
Games. I'm trying to even think.
Well, I'll mention games with gold this month. Battlefront 2.
What?
Oh,
really?
Original.
Right, Battlefront 2. The original on Xbox.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Backward compatible on Xbox One.
That's cool.
And free.
That's sweet. Because I know that Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
And I played that the other day. That's actually a really good game.
Oh, really?
Did you play it?
No.
I played it. It's fun.
I played the first...
It'd be real. I think all of us playing it together would be awesome.
Well, and I'm telling you what. I think it was one of the first games to do the hero thing. Because, like, the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 1 came out a long time ago, and it's got, like, sunflowers who can heal, certain ones who can, like, charge and be aggressive.
Yeah, it is a really fun... We should all play it. I mean, you downloaded it, right?
Yeah, I downloaded it.
We should all play it. It's really fun.
I remember I barely touched the first Garden Warfare, and I wasn't a huge fan, but I didn't play it that much. It's more of a multiplayer.
I think if all three of us play together,
Yeah.
we'll have a lot of we'll have a really good time with it.
Yeah.
Well,
That's way cool.
I'm
About
surprised because like I've been playing it. Let's mention
The
this real
good-
quick.
Literally,
The
the
good
games
Battlefront.
for Xbox One were trash, but there's 2 games this month that I heard that were like legendary on Xbox, like the
Like
original
Battlefront
Xbox.
2.
Battlefront 2, and then there's another one, but I can't remember what it is. Here, I'll look it up while you guys talk.
And then
but-
there's the 2 Xbox. What are the Xbox One ones? Are they?
So it was Garden Warfare, which was last month.
Well, that was last month. I'm talking April.
This month.
So this month it is it's loading right now. So
Real quick,
it's-
I want to pimp out. We're not sponsored or anything.
Oh.
Like real quick, I want to pimp out Xbox Live Gold's games with gold.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, a lot of the games you get are really good. I mean, there's games we've played.
There's a
like,
lot of trash too.
But
I,
like
I
even,
just said something that I regret because it's the Technomancer, which is actually something that I've kind of looked at and it looks kind of cool.
Technomancer.
And then Outcast Second Contract, which isn't a big one, but and then so for Xbox, this is what I was gonna say. It's Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2
Oh,
for
yeah, I
the
remember
Xbox
that one was
360.
big back
That one
then.
was big. That's a platinum hits on Xbox actually. It's one
Oh,
of the
is
bigger
it?
games that's been on Xbox.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so it's like it's kind of weird because the 2 main ones aren't that big, but then you
But
got
the
like
two
the 2
OGs.
older ones are like huge.
but
Those are huge.
like I was gonna say is even those first ones. Some of the most fun experiences we've had is like playing like Death Squared, Night Squad.
Yeah, just some
What's
random.
that
Runbo.
one that we played?
Runbo.
Adventure in Love's Past or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lovers in a Dangerous Space
Yeah,
Time.
that's it.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I mean. Like,
That one was weird.
Yeah,
all,
it
like,
was
all
weird.
4, there's 4 of us that played it.
They are fun, like
yeah,
multiplayer
if
party
you
games,
if you
though.
have extra time, like if you have free time, download the free games with gold and just play them. Like, I've actually enjoyed a lot of them that I've played. Like, Oxenfree. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you ever
Yeah.
play Oxenfree?
I never played it.
It was cool. It was like 2D.
Yeah, I didn't play it either. But
was
I
kinda
wanted to. I
scary.
started it, but I never finished it.
It was kind of scary, and like there's a lot of those games that you just don't realize.
Gold is awesome because it introduces you into a lot of games that you might never
Never
play.
play.
Or might never even hear of.
Same thing with Game Pass for me.
Yeah, Game Pass is the same way.
Yeah.
That's why they're such great services. But
Real quick, I want to mention as far as news, because since I was talking about Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Obviously Borderlands 3, but then we also got Borderlands 1 is getting remastered.
oh, that's random, really.
Yeah, Borderlands 1
Didn't
is
they already
getting...
do that with the Handsome Jack collection?
No, so Handsome Jack Collection is Borderlands 2 and then Borderlands pre-sequel
Oh.
with 60 frames per second. And
Oh, really? So one isn't included in that?
So no, 1 was never included. That was
Oh,
the...
wow, I didn't know that.
But that's why Handsome Collection was really cool, because they ported them to Xbox One and then also updated them to where they had field of view slider, 60 frames per second, 60 frames per second, all that stuff. But they just did that for Borderlands 1, and they added a mini map. Which, did you ever play Borderlands 1 with me?
Barely.
Yeah, it was fun, but it doesn't have a mini map. You can't sprint really. It's really clunky. They changed it all. They fixed it all, so it's not just a remaster, or it's not just a remaster, but it's almost like a reimagining.
Uh-huh.
So that's really cool. And then also we're getting a free update to Borderlands 2 this month that's adding 4K
Oh,
and
really?
Xbox One X enhanced, PlayStation Pro enhanced.
I
It's
want to
free.
get an Xbox One X.
So, and if
You
you
we don't have.
No, I have the S.
Oh, I could have swore you got one.
you've never played Borderlands, that was the game
I
I
don't
remember
either.
I was gonna make you play. Me and Connor played it. It's a really fun game. It's a fun game we could all 3 play together.
It's a fun just run and gun.
And it was like one of the first loot and shoot.
So
type of
back
games.
really quick back to Assassin's Creed. So Assassin's Creed 3 is $40.
Remastered?
Remastered.
But it's not
What?
just Assassin's Creed 3. It comes with Liberation as well.
Oh, that's true. But still, that
No one played Liberation.
yeah,
You know
that
what I
seems
mean?
a little
It's-
steep.
It seems expensive. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it 30 maybe.
30 maybe. Like 30.
I
I
feel
could
like
get
maybe
behind.
because like usually remasters aren't.
No,
$40.
$40.
That's a little
Far Cry
much.
New Dawn was 40.
Yeah, that's true. And that's
You know
a
what I mean?
brand new
Like-
game. Yeah.
Like that's crazy. And it does say Assassin's Creed 3 remasters included for free in Assassin's Creed Odyssey Season Pass.
How much you want to bet on the Switch? It's going to cost $60 because the Switch does bullcrap like that all the time. where
Like
they're
Dark
just
Souls?
Yeah, like they're just like, oh, this
60
game's
bucks.
10 years old. Well, we're going to put it out like Skyrim. They're like, oh, it's a 10-year-old game and it's not the cool Game of the Year edition or anything. We're just going to put it out for $60.
Oh man.
Well, it did come with the DLC.
I really wanted to buy
Okay.
it and play it this weekend because this coming weekend I'm off. But
Yeah, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait. Like, I'm not going to get it.
yeah. I'll wait
Well, like
till
I said, I'm waiting
that
until
thing's gonna
the...
go on sale quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes on gold.
I'm waiting until the
next year.
Switch, like I said.
Yeah, I'll probably
get
wait
that.
for Switch too. Quick other news, real fast, while we're on the topic of it. Elder Scrolls Blades is getting early access. You guys hear about that?
Oh really? I checked my email because I signed up for it.
I've heard it's really, really cool. I've actually heard that it's a lot better than people were expecting.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually want to try that. That might actually be fun. Then Borderlands thing we already talked about, and then one last thing is, so Disney theme park news, Disneyland specifically. So Muppets Theater has been closed for a while.
You got it? You did?
Yeah.
Oh really?
F you.
Oh nice. So you get to download it?
Yeah, I'm gonna download it right now.
Oh nice. But Muppets Theater.
You should sign into your email on my phone and download it.
Downloading it.
You should sign into your email on my phone and download it on Android.
But Muppets Theater closed a few years ago, which was one of my favorite attractions.
I'll do that. Show.
And it was in Hollywood Boulevard and California Adventure. It's still in Disney World, but apparently for the last few years it's been like a trailer thing. Like they've been putting like Frozen trailers and stuff like that. Just a bunch of weird
bringing
things.
it back?
No, unfortunately, which sucks. That's what I was hoping the news would be too. They actually announced they're officially like putting something new there. And
they're destroying it?
They're not destroying it, but they're putting Mickey's Philharmonic thingamajig. We saw it in
Disney World,
Florida, in Disney World. So it's only been in Disney World. It's cool, but they're now moving that to Disneyland as well with that. So that's a little piece of news. If you like the Mickey's Philharmonic show or whatever, I don't remember exactly what it's called. It's going to be in Disneyland Park now, California Adventure. I don't know exactly when, but that's what I heard. So that should be interesting. I'm a little disappointed because Muppets Theater was one of my favorite attractions.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see it go because we don't go to Florida as much, so it's unlikely we'll see it as often.
Dang it, dude. That's so sad.
Yeah. Anyway, do you guys want to move on to the topic now or anything else you want
I say we do it. I mean, nothing else.
Let's just end the show because I want to play with
Let's see. So
it's
collections.
about the Dragonborn.
Speaking of collections, Skyrim. You collected it on 20 systems.
Yeah.
I got it for every console that has been made for it.
Anyway, yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to our topic, which is collections and, like, collector mentality and collector, like...
First things
rules.
first, do we want to go through what each of us collect?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So you go ahead.
I'll start because mine's the most basic, I think, of all of ours. So mine is literally pop figures. Yeah. I think that's the main thing.
He has all 9,000.
All 12,000 of them that there are. No, I have about probably around 350 now at this point of pop figures. My basement's just filled with pop figures.
We did an episode there. But, you couldn't see any of them.
You couldn't see any, but now if we did one over there, you could see it. But so mine's mainly pop figures. So.
What, like...
I also collect Disney pins. I'm not as into it as these guys are. They have insane collections with pins.
Yeah. You also did the Lego Star Wars figures.
Oh, yeah, I have some of the Lego Star Wars figures. That's another thing I have. Yeah. But, like, the deepest thing I'm into is definitely pop figures.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And, like, what are, like, your main collections?
So I have almost every single Rick and Morty pop figure, which there's probably 70 or 80 of them. Oh, wow. I'm missing, I think, 4, which I just need to go get them. You know what I mean?
Just been waiting.
It's not even I need to go get them.
Are
I
they
need
expensive,
to find
those
ones? The new ones, right?
They're $30 a piece.
Oh,
like, because it's like a reseller that I'd have to buy it from. So
you're just waiting to bite the bullet.
Yep, and then I collect Disney here and there. I can't go
full
hog with Disney because, you know,
Marvel, Star Wars, Deadpool.
Yeah. Everything, especially now with Fox.
Yeah, it'd be rough. And then Disney, then I have some smaller ones. I won't go into it, but I have like
Skyrim.
I have Parks and Rec. I have every Parks and Rec one. That's probably my favorite.
Those are cool.
Are you gonna get Office?
The Office ones I'm definitely getting.
When do those come out?
It's September.
Because I want some of those.
So it's a far away because they got to do production. Like they literally just announced it, and they're like, it still said when they announced it, it's like approving NBC's.
You collect the Diamond Disney ones.
The Diamond Disney ones, yeah.
And then like the attractions. You have the cheeky.
I have some of them.
Pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of the attraction ones. I have Haunted Mansion and Splash.
They haven't done Pirates right yet.
No, they did.
They did.
Yeah. Was it the
Jolly
dog?
Roger? It's Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
He's the Pirates one. He's worth a ton.
Yeah, he's the skeleton guy.
The wheel guy?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know if he's the wheel guy, but I don't know. He's called the Jolly Roger, but I've seen he was at Comic-Con.
He's worth a lot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, anything else from there?
No, I don't think I have a very obsessive personality. you guys already know this, I'm sure, obviously. So like, I try and stay because like you guys know when I started collecting pops.
Oh my gosh,
it was insane.
It was.
Like
you got every single random one.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that one's cool. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy all of these because like I had a job, like a full-time job. I wasn't paying any bills. Like it was like, I'm just gonna buy whatever I want here.
It
was a nice night.
It went from
life.
My first set of pops I bought two mystery boxes. So my first day I got pop figures was 24 pop figures.
Holy frick.
I ordered them on Amazon and just had them shipped to my house. And then from there, I think it took me 2 weeks to get to like 120. You know what I mean? So like, I had to slow down. I was like, I gotta chill.
What I want to do with
you
each
have
of
managed
them,
yourself very well lately.
What I want to do with each of us before we go over
is how
mine and his is how did you get started with pops?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's a good idea because I was gonna mention real fast is that we went to Comic-Con
years ago.
A couple years ago. I think it was like 2
It really
I remember this
because
it was right next to the Disney pin section.
Yeah, we went to Comic-Con and we were walking around and I remember we went into one of the pop booths or whatever and you were like, I don't really get these. You're like, I don't.
I didn't at the time.
Yeah, you were just like, you're like
kind of stupid.
Yeah, you're like, you're kind of stupid. And my girlfriend wanted to get one of the Disney ones, like an up one. And Hazen's like, I don't get these. Like, I don't know. But I went if they have any, like, Skyrim ones or something like that. And you went and looked over at another one.
Because I pointed out... I was with him and I pointed out, I was like, whoa, they have Zavala from Destiny.
Skyrim was one of the first ones I ordered. The first one I ever ordered was some Guardians of the Galaxy 2... What was it? Taserface.
Oh, Taserface.
The first one I ever got was Taserface from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Nice.
But the second one I ever got was...
Dovahkiin?
Alduin?
No, it wasn't Alduin. I think it was Dovahkiin or
Daedric Armor?
It wasn't Daedric. It was Dovahkiin. Because Daedric Warrior and Alduin I had to like find because they stopped selling. I seen them at Target. Like I seen them while I worked at Target, and I never know why I didn't buy them.
Yeah, but, dude, there's so many situations I've had like that.
But I went to we were at Comic-Con, and I was like, is there any like Skyrim ones? And then I looked up a picture, and there was Alduin, and I was like, oh, I've got to get that. So I asked every.
And he was one of the bigger ones, right?
I don't know if he was huge at the time, but I was thinking
like big box.
He's like 6 inches. He's like this size, probably, but like wider.
So not a normal pop.
No, he's not normal. But I went there and then I asked like every single booth vendor. I mean, you're at Comic-Con. There's how many of these pop figure booths?
So was this the second time you had gone then, or still the first time? Was this still that first time?
Probably second.
No, I mean like was this still that first time before you were even collecting pops?
Oh yeah,
this is what like got me into it.
So this is one of the things that got me into it, and I started asking all of these vendors like, do you guys have Alduin? Do you guys have Alduin? Do you guys have Alduin? And they're like, no, I don't even know what that is.
They're like, no, shut up.
You're saying.
Like, go away.
Yeah, after that, like I like probably 6 months later, I was like, I want to try and get into these, you know. So I signed up for a subscription service that like sent me pops every month, and
yeah. I was gonna say I remember it was nuts because all of a sudden randomly.
It was randomly.
I remember you were like getting into it at Comic-Con. You're kind of like, oh, what are these, you know? And then all of a sudden, the next time we came to your house, like I remember you would talk about it briefly at Grandma's or whatever. You just be like, you know, I'm actually getting these pop figure things. They're actually kind of cool. Like I've ordered a few, and we're like, oh, cool, nice. And then we went to Hazen's house. Next time we went to Hazen's house, we go down and it's like wall to wall. We're like, what? The
He has the setups too that he stole from Target or something. Right?
I work at
Target. No, I know, but like the stands.
yeah, you got this freaking dope.
Because this is when you just went crazy because literally that entire room where
my fridges
pops are, literally it was just
it's
piles.
Insane now. You guys haven't seen it in a while,
what the frick, dude?
But
it was nuts. Like I don't know what. It was like that's what happens. Though.
It's my obsessive. That's why I don't drink. That's why I don't smoke.
Yeah,
because
that's
if I do, like
I think we all have.
You know what I mean? So I can't get into it.
I think we all have this in a way, like in different aspects. But like I'm totally with you on that. I get that because so for me, for example, so the biggest collection I've gotten recently was Amiibo, specifically the Super Smash Bros. Series for Amiibo, and. Just like you, it's one of those things where like I saw for years. Like Amiibo started production in 2014, so I saw these for years, and I was always just like, like they're cool. Like it's weird how you go through these phases in life where it's like you start out and you're kind of like, oh, I love toys, you know, when you're younger and stuff like that. And then you get to an age where you're like, I'm too cool for toys.
Too cool for in high school.
Yeah. And like in collectibles, like those are for nerds and like, or that's for babies. Like I don't need that stuff.
And then you don't realize that you are that nerd.
Exactly. Yeah. and you don't realize that it's like they're cool. It's like it's fun to have like things like that for nostalgia's sake and just to look back on it. And like, I remember randomly, so I'd seen these amiibo for years, and I was like, I'm one of the biggest Super Smash fans I know. And so
biggest
I would,
one I know.
yeah, I would see these and I wouldn't get them. Like I'd see super rare ones, like, you know, just sitting at Target or Toys R Us or whatever, and I just walk by them. I'm like, oh, those are cool, but whatever. I know.
Toys R Us.
I know. It's so sad. I know. Rest in peace, Jeffrey. But
It's Joffrey,
whatever. Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd see them and I'd just be like, whatever. And then it was, I think, about a year and a half ago, I want to say, maybe close to 2 years ago, I
went crazy.
happened. So actually, I take that back. I saw Amiibo back in the day, and there was one Amiibo I wanted to get, and it was Samus and Falco. There was two actually, but Samus was the first one I got because she was originally in the original lineup. Falco didn't come for like another 2 years or something. But I got Samus. I didn't even get it. I got it as a birthday present. Like, I didn't get it myself. Like, somebody got it for me, and I was like, oh, cool, Samus. Like, that's awesome. And I just kind of set it up, kept it, never thought about it again. Then Tanner got me Falco when he finally came out. Because Falco's my favorite Smash Bros. Character. And so I was like, he was like, would you want a Falco? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, I don't really care that much. But, you know, he's my favorite. And I was like, yeah. And then he got it for me, and I was like, oh, this is so sick. I'm glad I have these two, because they're my two favorite characters. And then
you bought Ness.
Yeah, and then I bought Ness, my absolute favorite character. No, but yeah, then I didn't get any for like a while after that, probably like a year or two. And then eventually I think for Christmas one year, I was trying to think of like, oh, what do I even want to ask for? I was like, I don't even know what to ask for anymore. I'm like, just money, I guess. And I was like, I want to get something that isn't just cash. Like, I feel like I always get cash. So I asked for, I was like, I kind of want Luigi because I've always loved Luigi too. So I was like, how about Luigi and then Captain Falcon or Ganondorf, like another couple characters I like. So I asked like my mom or whatever, and I think I got Luigi and Ganondorf, and I was like, dang, these are cool. So I had 4 now. And this is when it all started. It was that Christmas.
Exploded.
And then it exploded where all of a sudden, right after Christmas, it was January, like a week later, I was like, these are freaking cool. And I had to hang them up on my wall. And I'm like, these look really cool. Like, and I was like, why?
Collectibles look amazing if you can display them correctly.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's part of the best part about
probably, it. Yeah, I'd say it's the best decorations you could do.
Yeah, especially
to make stuff look cool.
Yeah, especially if you're like a nerd and like us, you know, it's like, it looks awesome. And they're colorful, a lot of them, and but I was like, these look really cool. And so in January, I started to like look on local listings like KSL or whatever, and I'd look and see like if anyone was selling Amiibo, and there was people who would be selling like lots and stuff like that, and I was like, I wonder if I should just like do a massive lot. And some of them were insanely expensive, like thousands of dollars, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. But one guy was selling them for like a reasonable, like $10 each, and I'm like, cool, like I'm gonna grab a few more, like why not? So I messaged him and I got like 5 or 6 more from him, and I was like, dang, these are really cool. And I got 5 or 6 more of the ones I really liked. And then, no joke, after I hung them up that night, I was like, these look really cool. Why didn't I get more of the ones he had? And so I messaged him right after, like I had already picked him up like an hour ago, and I was like, hey dude, can I actually buy more from you like tomorrow or the next day? And he was like, sorry dude, like most of them sold. Like, and I was like, holy frick. And this was the moment I learned how collectibles are valuable, and like people actually seek them out. Yeah. And there's like this whole market for that, because I wasn't really aware of that. Like, I knew there was stuff that was worth a lot of money and stuff that wasn't, but I didn't understand the collector world.
How many are out there too?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
There's a ton. Like, and
so I work in retail, and like we open in the morning, and you know the only people that are there at between 8 and 9 a.m.
are collectors.
Collectors.
Yeah,
because they're like, we're setting a truck. Like, those people are there a.m. in the morning, like 12 of them at this single store. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so I was like, oh dang. I was like, oh okay. I'm like, well, what do you have left? And he's like, I have like these 5 or 10 or something. It might have been like 15. But I was like, I'll take them all. I was like, I'll take whatever you have left.
You're talking about when you adopted those kids?
Yeah, when I adopted all the kids that guy had, I was just like,
and then murdered them.
Give them all. Yeah,
and then you put them in the trucks.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying.
But yeah, and Hasten locks them out of the Target. But yeah, and so I went and picked up the rest, and that's when you guys saw I had that first massive wave of collection, like probably 30, 35 of them. And then ever since then, it's just been piecemealing them. Like I've been trying because the thing is
you
Amiibo,
because once you get started with this collection, you're like, I gotta finish it.
Exactly.
One thing I was thinking about is,
and if it's a reason like pop figures, I can't finish it. I can't
No.
do every single one. I can't do it. But Amiibos,
I could
it's
theoretically
pretty reasonably.
Yeah,
well,
well,
it's tough now. If you were to jump into it right now,
yeah. Well,
tough.
that's the thing is I started. Amiibos have been off the shelves for a couple years now. Like traditional, most of them. I mean, you can find like some Animal Crossing crap or whatever, but the Smash Bros ones, they go fast. Like especially what characters people really care about, they're gone off shelves after a couple weeks. You can't find them, and so I ended up having to just like buy a bunch of them online from people or like local listings. I missed out on the chance of getting them in store, which kind of hurt me. I was like, that would have been such a fun thing for me to like go for these like when they were coming out. Like I was like, how did I not do this? Like I love Smash Bros. And then
what I was gonna
ended
say
up collecting. Well, real fast, I ended up collecting like the rest of them. And as of today, I only need one more from
Smash One.
Smash One that isn't.
Oh yeah, Bayonetta
Smash
Player 2.
Bayonetta Player 2, but they're re-releasing her in April.
And you already pre-ordered.
And I already have a pre-ordered, so I'm gonna have her. I'm gonna have Smash Bros. Complete. But the thing is they're also adding all the new ones from Ultimate, so I have to keep up with those. So.
Do you have all the current new Smash ones then?
I have every Smash Bros. Amiibo there is released as of right now, except for Bayonetta.
Do you think eventually you'll get all of the Amiibos in general?
I don't know. Like,
so what ones are you missing out on generally? Are there a lot more?
Well, so there's the Super Mario series, which doesn't have a ton. I could do that.
But you got
Legend
quite a
of
bit
Zelda
already.
series. Yeah, I have quite a few of the Super Mario and Legend of Zelda ones.
You have a lot of Legend of Zelda ones.
Yeah, but then there's Animal Crossing, which has like 40, and I'm like, no, I don't want any of those. Like, I do not care about the Animal Crossing ones.
You have 3.
I have like 3 because they were literally on clearance for like $1 or $2 at some place. So I was like, I have to get these because they're so cheap.
I can't not.
But, yeah. Otherwise, though, like I would never get those. Like I don't want those. So I don't think I'll collect every Amiibo there is, only because there's literally a series of them that I do not care about at all.
Well, what I was going to say real quick, and I want to go back to what Amiibos real quick, is your guys' started very abruptly. Like I've noticed, because like before it was like nothing, and then like, literally it was like pop figures, Amiibos, like that.
So actually, what happened with me was I got into socks. Socks is probably my first real collection.
Oh my
actually,
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of mine.
I totally forgot.
Because I started first, and I was like, the only, everyone like made fun of me because like I had all these cool socks.
all these cool, colorful
socks.
Yeah.
And then suddenly this boom happened. Like I feel like I started this boom.
The sock boom
yeah.
Because like I was before
boom.
everyone, and then the sock boom happened,
Dude.
And then there was like Sock City.
I will back up Payson on that. Like it was a trendy thing for a few years for people to have cool, crazy, like colorful socks, and Hasten was doing it like before it started.
2010.
And
Hasten
like,
was started.
It was a long time.
And it was insane. Like Hasten had so many, and then all of a sudden, next day I knew everyone was doing it. I'm like,
all of a sudden, the Sock City came up, and all these stores were exclusively socks. I'm like, what the frick?
Yeah.
I mean, Hasten's sock addiction went on to me for a little bit. And I kind of even still.
So really, I think socks is what started collection, and then I think socks kind of was like, I collect socks. I mean, these pop figures are cool too. You know what I mean? So it was.
Well, and especially as you started getting more.
I'm glad you remembered that one because that definitely was like your first major collection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's it's something you wouldn't think about.
You guys are forgetting
because it's like clothing. You know what I mean? Like
what about football?
It's like
cards?
shoes and stuff. Oh, football, frick.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. That's hard though because like when we got football, when I really was in football cards, it was like when I was 10.
Yeah.
But you really hardcore collected.
But it was
I did. I have an insane amount of football cards.
I would say mine and Hasten's both first collections were probably football cards.
Yes.
Oh, easy.
I
mean, even mine. I had a big booklet too. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Another football card thing, and I just shove them in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a crap ton. Like that's what when people didn't know what to get us, it would be football cards.
So I remember these times when I had these football cards, right? And I was like, I want to reorganize my book. And I started this at Grandma's. And I took every card I had out. I set them down, and I was like, holy crap.
It's all of Grandma's floor.
All of Grandma's house.
I'm not even joking. It's probably about a 5x5 pile.
Yeah.
Like 5 feet by 5 feet. And I was like, where do I start here?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I need to find the Seahawks players. The Seahawks go
first.
here.
Dude, we did it the exact same way. I had all my Cowboys players first in there, and then you had the Seahawks first.
I think I remember. I think we all organized ours at the same day.
No, I did mine alone.
Because mine are randomly... Mine, when I gave mine to Connor, it was randomly Raiders were the front ones.
I need to go back through. I wonder if I have any valuable ones because it's been a long time. Since I
guess if you think about it, it has been since like 2006.
And like 2016, I bought another pack. Like I bought the whole card set.
Yeah,
so.
I think I have almost every like collection. Like, cause you can get like the full. Topps is gone out of business, which is crazy.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, Topps.
Didn't Topps own multiple different card companies though?
I don't know, but they were the biggest football one.
Because it was like even. They had Skylander cards that were owned by Topps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think they're out of business now, like, period. But
what is happening? Oh, my gosh.
A lot of prints, like, things that are printed, like magazines and things like that, just aren't as popular anymore.
It's crazy.
But I think I have, like, almost every, like, collection from the full Topps series from, like, 2006 to 2014 or something, you know, around there. So, football cards were definitely were my first for sure too, because that's just something. It wasn't even something that I think we necessarily sought out. It was kind of thrust upon us.
Yeah, our grandma gave us cards, and I was like,
family.
But then like we were like, oh, these are cool.
Yeah,
not for me.
Not for you. Okay, I have a question for you guys. We'll get on to Tanner's collection and then whatever you have left.
Yeah.
But is there a collection that you want to do right now?
Ooh.
But that is holding money, like money.
Money
You're
is
like
holding back?
you're afraid to get into it because you're like,
oh yeah,
this is bad.
There's so many.
So my big one is I want to try Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
but I've heard stories where people are like, yeah, the last I've 10 years of this, and I've probably spent 30.
And it
grand.
never ends.
And I'm like,
30
holy
grand.
fuck.
It'd be like if Skyrim, all the stuff you buy in Skyrim is real life money.
Yeah, and it seems fun. Like I don't know why to me, but going to those shops, like the nerd store, it seems kind of cool to me. Like go in there and like play. I mean, obviously it's not cool.
No, it's definitely not cool.
but it's cool in a different way because it is cool.
Seems unique.
Yeah.
Well, it's
cool in a different sense.
Cool is a very
cool subjective.
Subjective, yeah. Because like
none of us right now would be considered cool.
No. The thing is the popular.
No, actually, I will say the popularized cool is nerdy. Like people love
nerdy is popular. Nerdy's in. Like, nerdy's the thing to be.
Yeah, it's like, look at the most popular movies right now are Marvel movies. Like, if you were reading comic books in the 90s, people were like, you freaking nerd.
I feel so angry when people are like, I don't even like those movies. Like, it's kind of stupid. I'm like, you're so uncool.
Or it's like,
you are so dumb.
Or it's like, yeah, bull crap. We know you saw that movie. It made over $1 billion.
Yeah. Don't you lie to me.
You've seen
Infinity War.
Yeah, and you're going to see Endgame.
You can bash on it as much as you want.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think cool is subjective, and to us that's cool. I mean, to a lot of people that's cool. Like just the feeling of those shops. It's really like something about it. It's almost like magical.
I mean, the thing is for me, it's I remember. So one time, I have a funny story, a quick tangent about a Game Haven because
I think we all have this story.
Yeah,
because I did it too alone. And I was like, oh, Game Haven.
Yeah, that was me. There's this Game Haven that used to be over by our grandparents'
Real
house.
quick, explain what Game Haven is.
So Game Haven basically is just like a card game place, like a board game shop. Like it's, and I mean that, I don't mean this in a rude way, but like it is the nerdiest freaking thing you can.
You go in there and you smell GameStop.
Yeah, you can smell people.
You can smell the basement dwellers.
Yeah, you can smell. Yeah, exactly. But it's
they're such sweaties.
Really?
Yeah. But I remember there's a GameStop right next to it, so I went into GameStop. I'm like, whatever. And my parents were freaking at RC Wheeler or something. I didn't want to go, and so I was like, I want to go to GameStop. And then I was like, oh, there's a Game Haven over there. So I just walked over to it, and I'm like, I wonder what's in here. And I walked in, and I remember being terrified. I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I was like, what the frick? And there was grown men, like 30, 40-year-old men who look like freaking perverts. You know, like
their neck beards.
Hello. I want to play Magic.
Like everybody. I remember. So I had a horrible first impression. I'm like, what the frick is this place? And I remember I was looking around trying to find like video games, and I'm like, what the heck is this place? And people are like playing these games like, I have a level 4+ defense card against your mama. And I remember being like, what the frick? And leaving, and so that was my first taste of Game Haven.
You hear these stories though of people going into these game stores and like just making new life friends.
Yeah,
like life friends forever.
Well, that's what I was gonna say though. Is like I've totally walked back how I used to perceive that type of stuff because part of me has wanted to try that. So like Dungeons and Dragons, I've never played any Dungeons and Dragons.
Like Dungeons and Dragons
sounds kind of fun. I want to try it sometime.
It sounds like Skyrim, but without the screen. Like for real, it honestly does. Like Skyrim, if you actually break down Skyrim, think about it. There's Magicka. There's like
this is embarrassing for all of us, but like, dude, we used to all play power games. Like we'd make up these games in our head and be like, like shooting stuff at each other.
BEER.
We did this until we were like 12 years old, like as sad as it is.
I think even older than that.
Yeah, so
yeah, we did it at least when 14. I got my license.
Yeah, until you were 60.
Now we can drive.
Now we can drive into it and shoot powers out the window.
And that's how we lost.
Fools Roda.
Yeah. And that's why. No, never mind. But yeah, Game Haven. I'm open to it now. Like I kind of want to try something in there.
We should go there one day.
Try it out. But that's an interesting one, Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering. What's your guys' one that's money's holding you back?
I have so many.
I think you should go.
Well, for me, I have to think exactly, but there's a ton of like the thing is for me is I think so many things are cool. I'm into a lot of.
You have the biggest collection, I think.
Yeah, like I love. So one of the I also have a very nostalgic.
I'd say different collections.
Yeah,
the biggest different collections.
Yeah. I'm very because
I think overall the biggest collection is yours still. Like as far as one figures, collection,
one single collection. Yeah, I think Jason. Overall,
because yours is probably more, but different ones.
Yeah, for me, like I'm very nostalgic, and I love to like look back at like old things I used to get, and so for me, there's a bunch of like old collections I'd love to go back and get. Like for example, Lord of the Rings. The old Lord of the Rings figures, I remember getting those when I was a kid, and I freaking loved them. And I've recently gone back and gotten like a lot of my favorites, but I'd love to get all those. I'd love to Mega Bloks Pirates were a thing we grew up on. I'd love to, even though those are like literally things you'd have to build. I just think they're so cool to like see, and they're nostalgic to me. Like I look at that, and it takes me back to when I was 6 years old, 7 years old.
Like look how unique. Boxes.
It takes me back to like walking down Toys R Us with our grandparents and being like, whoa.
Or even at freaking 7-Eleven they used to have them.
Yeah, they even had them.
You'd walk in 7-Eleven, you're like, whoa, pirates.
But so, whoa, pirates. But there's a bunch of old figures like that, like Star Wars. Star Wars is way too big that I can never get into it. I love Star Wars, but
I think you could probably get the original Ninja Turtles that we used to do.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles.
Specifically the series.
My dad has the first sets of the Star Wars.
The Star Wars ones,
yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah.
And then,
probably worth some freaking money.
They are, but my mom destroyed them.
Oh, dude,
she cut the box up.
Why?
She cut the box up to make a cake.
That sucks.
And she put tinfoil around it and put a cake.
That would be
my birthday cake. She put my birthday cake on.
What did your dad do?
He didn't do anything.
I was gonna say this.
That birthday cake was worth thousands of dollars.
It really was. It was the original Millennium Falcon that ever came out. Like Grandma got my dad. My dad had the box and every character that came in that first set. It was worth probably $5,000.
Jason, we went to this toy store down in the city. We literally
is it Megapolis?
No, BT&T Toys.
Oh, okay.
There was an out of box Han Solo that was worth like $2,000.
No, I'll give it. The box was damaged, but like
still,
yeah. People pay.
When you used a birthday cake.
This is actually a good transition into what I was going to say for part of collecting and collector mentality.
That hurts. I don't even collect that, and I know how much that's worth.
What are your guys' thoughts on like box and mint on card and stuff like that?
I want to get to that after.
Okay.
I wanted to mention that.
I just wanted to remember that.
Because
that is a big
I was going to bring up this guy right there.
Yeah.
Because even though...
That's the thing is like, that comes with a caveat, but I want to... we'll save that.
Right.
So you go ahead and what's your...
So mine is actually kind of weird, but I've always been interested because it's similar to what I collect. So I'm actually going to say what I collect real quick since we've kind of said. Currently, I collect Skylanders, obviously. I have a majority of the ones. This is the rarest one I have, I think. I have all the ones for the first game, besides one. I have almost all the ones for the second game, most of them for the fourth game, none for the third game, and then like most for the fifth game. The good thing about mine is discontinued. Your guys' isn't. Your guys' could potentially keep going forever. Yeah. Like they could keep playing Rick and Morty and making more and more characters and more and more figures.
It's like an approved 7 years.
You know, see what I'm saying?
I'm nervous because I'm like.
Like in Smash Bros, they can make more and more
seasons for Rick and Morty.
They can, yeah.
One thing I was going to say,
which is why I kind of like that I have like the Parks and Rec set.
Yeah, it's
that's
like
not going to
finished.
go.
That's done.
Yeah, they're not gonna make
And
that
like
shit
The
more of those.
Office.
And
is
if they
gonna
do
stop.
make more Parks
It'll be
and
way
Rec, it'll
down
be
the
like
line.
random like one-offs, like the Tom and Ralphio.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was one.
And so the reason why I love mine is because for now, Skylanders is done. Like it's completely done. They just made the iOS game or whatever. But as far as the figures, they're done.
Yeah, I think out of all of the things we collect, I think pop figures will last the longest.
Yeah, me too.
I think
because
pops will be
it's
going
something
for
that's not one thing.
My life's
a long time.
over.
Yeah, you'll have to collect pops.
If
for
I
the
win
rest
the
of your life.
lottery, it's all just going to go towards pop figures. I'm
The
going to buy a
entire
house.
lottery.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Make it
Made out of pops?
I would buy a house, and it would be pops from wall to wall. I would paste them
No.
up to put in shelves from one wall, from when you walk in the door here, all the way across the house.
You don't even have to do that. The house could be made out of pops, and then the
That
the
would not last in
the
the
shelves are glued on as pop figures, and there's pop figures on top of the pop figures.
It's like we can't even see half of them. They're in the wall.
Everything's white, and you're like, ah, where's the TV? It's
Oh,
made out of
dude,
pops.
That would be, if I did win the lottery, I think I would do that. Like, I just have a collection house for pop figures.
Oh yeah,
Because I would end up going crazy. I'd be like, I want all the, just give me all the Disney
If you had
ones.
the money,
Like,
you would go
if
crazy.
you were a billionaire, you're just like, give me every single pop.
Yeah. What were you saying about Skylanders?
But I was gonna mention real quick because my collection is very different than your guys's. Because yours guys was kind of like you wanted to start a collection and you did, and it was like boom. Mine
I
was
feel like mine just kind of happened.
yeah, that's
Yours
what I
hard-
mean.
yeah,
like yours kind of just boom.
I mean, mine
Same
did
with-
too though with Amiibo.
Yeah, and that's what I mean is like because Connor before never wanted an Amiibo, which is surprising.
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
he got him, and then it was like it even took a while after he got his first Amiibo. He got his first Samus Amiibo. He took it out of box. Trigger warning. He
Yeah.
took it out of box and just sat it there for almost a year. I feel like until
Yeah.
you started collecting.
Well, even longer. No, like because me and Hasten were talking about this. Samus came out in the original wave in 2014, and I got her on like right away.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, I want Samus and Falco. Those were the two I wanted. Falco didn't come out for another 2 years, but I got Samus right away. Opened the box, didn't even care, and then it wasn't until
Well, and then I got you
a year or two
Falco.
ago. Yeah,
Because I got you
you got
Falco
me
for your
Falco.
birthday, and even still you weren't
Yeah.
collecting.
Yeah, even still, I had Falco and Samus. Those were the original two because
Uh-huh.
they were my two favorite characters. I had to have them. Opened both of them up.
And what's weird
had it
is
in a
we
box.
all had an Amiibo because you even bought our little brother Luigi, and then I had the Mario 8-bit one.
8-bit one, yeah.
And so we all had them, and then yours kind of just like happened, just like Hasten's, where it was kind of like out of the blue random. You're like, I want to start collecting this.
Yeah.
For me, I bought the first Skylanders game a month after it came out, and out of the blue random because I was about 12 years old, maybe younger, when the first Skylanders game came out, and we used to go with our grandparents for our birthday and go to Toys R Us. Oh, Toys R Us. Oh. So I went to Toys R
Yeah,
Us.
we were just talking about that.
I went to Toys R Us and I was wondering what to get because I would usually get like a big thing. You usually get like a big thing and then that's it. And I really wanted like Bionicles. They had like the cool Paraka back. They had like re-brought them back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I usually get like Legos and stuff. I couldn't find anything, and then I went to the video game section, and there was this huge display about this new game called Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. And immediately my eyes caught the
so
word
great.
Spyro.
Real fast, I was gonna say, this is another topic for another day, but like advertisement and how people lure in kids because like yeah, you see a Skylanders sign and I can totally get why you'd want that. It's like colorful.
It was
it's
bright.
Cool.
It was like,
characters.
and it, not only that, but it was the main thing they were advertising. In the entire game section, it was all about Skylanders. It was like, you remember when Skylanders was huge?
Oh my gosh.
It was the entire wall.
Skylanders dominated for a couple.
Oh
years.
yeah, like they would take out complete sections of where they would put games to just put the Skylanders. They would have to move it to the other side of the store to do it. And so literally, I remember I pulled up with my grandma and grandpa, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, this game looks awesome. And for me, it was such a risk because I saw it, and I saw that it said Spyro, and instantly nostalgia kicked in, and I'm like, I remember Spyro from a kid. We used to play those little McDonald's games.
Was Spyro your first one?
What?
Your first Skylander?
No. So here's the thing: when I saw the game, I was so.
I feel like most people didn't even know Spyro was in it.
So here's the truth: nobody even knew what Skylanders was.
Yeah.
My mom likes to say that I started the, which I didn't, of course, but I was kind of like with the
Started
sock
the
thing,
Skylanders craze.
where I started the craze because
Yeah.
like for me, I got it before. I didn't even hear about it from everybody. I wasn't old enough to look at like internet and stuff all the time to where I wasn't like, oh yeah, Skylanders. I just happened to see it at the store, and the starter pack was $70, and it came with Spyro, Trigger Happy, and Gilgrunt. And I remember I looked at them and I'm like, they kind of suck, but Spyro's in it. But then there was this one specific guy, Ghost Roaster. He came in this 3-pack, and he was a skeleton. And it came with like the skeleton DLC-esque pack where it's like an extra level. And immediately I was like, I want this game. I want to try it out, which was weird because it was such a risk. It could have sucked.
Yeah.
You know like the game Light Seekers right now? Have you ever heard of it? It's kind of like Skylanders-esque. It flopped because it came way after the Toys to Life craze.
That section was huge in Target.
Because imagine if
that's what Tanner was just saying is like Skylanders was literally...
It's literally gone
It
now.
took over a wall
Yeah.
of the games. And like... That's what's crazy to me is because
Toys to Life in general, dude. Like when
the Amiibos
Amiibo
were there,
and Skylanders and Lego Dimensions were all
my
going
God.
It was
on.
literally
it was like,
it was literally 30 feet. Of
Yeah.
just store.
all that.
Well, dude,
all Toys to Life.
That's why I always stick by my philosophy of like all good things come to an end.
And Disney
no matter
Infinity.
what.
I didn't even
Yeah,
think of
Disney
that.
Infinity
Oh
was
my
there.
gosh.
It was all at the same time.
And now it's just all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well,
Disney,
yeah.
the only Toys to Life that exists now is what
It's
Starlink
Lightseekers.
and Starlink.
Starlink is kind of...
Starlink's
not-
not, but it's mostly Amiibo.
Yeah, and
which
it's
Amiibo
basically
are
dead at
barely
this
on
point.
shelves.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Mostly because you can't keep them in stock.
Yeah.
But-
for me, this was a huge risk because...
And they don't print enough. So.
Like, I'd seen the game. I didn't see any gameplay whatsoever. They still didn't have the gameplay little screen or anything. And I bought it out of just pure kid excitement. And I was like, frick, I want to try this. And I did it. And I spent like $120 my grandparents spent on it. I got like... they had like a buy one, get
Wait
one
a
free.
second.
Real fast. Our grandparents spoil us. We're not like these rich Tsunami kids.
No.
But our grandparents do spoil
Not
us.
whatsoever. I mean,
Yeah.
we were disciplined to the world's end. If I was
Well.
like, "Hey, Dad, I want a game," he's like, "Go outside and mow the lawn for 6 hours." I'm like, okay.
As there's kids who are like, go out and mow the lawn for 12 hours and maybe you'll get $1.
Yeah,
It's like we had it.
and maybe
so
I'll give you
hard.
food.
we were pretty spoiled. If we're being
Oh
real.
no, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
heck
I'm
of
just
spoiled.
trying to say like our grandparents especially
Oh, yeah.
spoiled us.
But
Especially like me and you and Tanner.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we were the first.
We were the
First
first.
one.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that's
were the-
another advantage we had is we were the only grandkids at the time. So
I mean, that first year, there's a picture of both of us,
Me
me
and
and
you
you.
just
It's literally just
mountains.
us buried in presents.
we're just
for
like
Christmas.
gangsters sitting on a pile of or throne of presents.
But like I said, it was like a huge risk for me, and they had a buy one get one, like buy 1 pack get a 3-pack free. So I literally came home with like, I'd say like 12 Skylanders in total, right? And so it wasn't like I was like, this is a collection I want to start. It was more like I want to play as these guys, because this was something completely new where you get to play as different characters
That's what you
and
buy.
put them on a portal.
and
It was
play as
such a
them.
cool idea.
If Skylanders came out when I was 10 years old, it would be my obsession.
It would
Like-
be. It would destroy the world. The world would collapse because it wasn't even fathomable at the time.
Like
when we were
like
children,
I would have loved Skylanders. As a
Oh my
kid.
gosh.
Skylanders passed me by. Like when it came out, I was
You were
I was
old
at
enough.
that phase where I was like, I'm too cool.
I think
too
you had
cool
just
for that.
you had just like
Call
gotten
of
into, like,
Duty.
yeah, you had just gotten
It was
into
when I
like
got
9th
Xbox
grade.
Live, and I'm like, yeah, it's
I actually,
endgame
I
time.
think it was around the same time we got Xbox Live for the
It
first
was.
time.
I think it was 2012,
Because I specifically remember
2011.
Skylanders had Xbox Live features, which I couldn't use when I first got it because we didn't have
7
Xbox
years
Live.
ago.
It was a long time ago.
Well, and not only that, I remember like it was right. I got Batman Arkham City that year too, 2011, and I couldn't play as Catwoman. And I remember it always showed Catwoman, and she was in like the most scandalous.
And you're like,
freaking
I don't have Xbox
outfit.
Live.
And I was like, I want Xbox Live so bad.
You're like, eh.
I need it.
Oh my god! As your like 12-year-old self, finally. But like,
Oh, you guys didn't jerk off at 12?
Really though, it was like Catwoman.
Welcome to our kid-friendly show. You don't jerk off at 12?
The Bro Show. So our topic for today is what time did you jerk off?
so what was your first?
What
time?
age did you do it?
My first period, but no. So I remember when I got home. Have you guys ever had like that feeling where a game is different the first day you try it, and then as it goes on, it's different? It was a totally different feeling. I remember the smell. I can like smell it right now. Like the way the
I love the
figures
smell of a
smelled.
new game.
Mhm, the way the figures smelled and
I
everything.
don't remember that. But.
Like opening the plastic and smelling the game. You don't remember? I mean, I didn't like smell it.
Well, no, I remember what you're.
I know the smell.
It smells. It's very processed in factory, which is
Yeah.
to most people is disgusting, but to us it's like
It's
kids,
just
right?
nostalgic.
It's nostalgic. And I was like freaking out. This was a huge big deal. And I remember the night I got it, I was like, oh, and my collection slowly started because then Connor got me like Zap for my birthday. I got like another character there.
Yeah, you've been
one for
doing yours for
Christmas,
blah,
blah, blah, blah.
longer than any of
Tanner,
us.
yeah, Tanner's been doing it for the longest for
Yeah,
sure.
and like I said,
Because he was a kid when it came out.
I think
so it's perfect.
the first one came out 2012. So it's been a good 7 years. And for me, it was easy because Skylanders was an ongoing thing. Multiple games, and every time I got to look forward to the new characters they were announcing. And it was the one game. It wasn't just like Pop, where it's multiple franchises. It was like the one. And of course, I got to a point where I got older, and that's why the third game...
Wow.
2011. That's even
I feel
earlier.
like you went for a while there where it like stopped.
Yeah.
You didn't collect anything.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is because like...
Everyone goes through that phase.
Yeah.
The first two games, for example, Connor just pointed out 2011, I was 11 years old when I started this collection. I was like freaking Courtney's age. I was a little kid still. I was like, yeah! And I remember after the second game is when I think I went to middle school. And middle school changes you as a kid.
Middle school and
it scars you.
It makes you hate everything about yourself.
I think middle school is when everyone wants to be cool and fit in, and it was like I'm too cool for all.
And
that
if you
stuff.
don't, then
and even like the start of high school, I think it's like by middle.
If you
of high
don't,
school,
you're the kid that's
like,
running down the hall like,
I'm Superman,
or I'm an anime.
Yeah, high school I think is where like mid high school you start. You're like I don't
developing.
care. Like,
I think I don't know. I'd say it's pretty late high school.
Well,
I'd
that's
say
what I mean.
Senior
Like,
year.
I mean, mid high school for us is technically since we only have 3 years of high school. Most people have 4.
Yeah.
I mean, because our 9th grade was in middle school, which is
That's
stupid.
true. That's weird.
So I mean, like end of high school.
Yeah.
Almost.
And like of course the third game I had gotten in middle school, I literally didn't get one character. I didn't even get the game when it came out. Like, and then the fourth game I got it, and I was getting them under the radar. Like I remember I was like, I don't play Skylanders, but I still did, and I'd get excited. And then by the time Imaginators came out, I was like, F it. Like, I don't care. Because I remember I used to, like, secretly go into GameStop and I'd be like... And then I'd look at the Skylanders, and then if somebody I knew come in, I'd be like, okay, Call of Duty. Like, Grand Theft Auto, look at those
new
boobs.
GTA game.
Look at that hot chick boob. Oh, yeah. And then they leave, and I'd be like...
I'm tough.
Yeah,
I'm a tough guy.
And that's what
And
sucks.
then they leave and like, hey, you got any new Skylanders?
That's the thing is, I'd be so nervous to ask. And my collection would have been so much more big if I wasn't so scared about that.
That's funny because I never went through that.
Yeah,
But
you never had to.
Because I started Pop figures when I was like 20.
Yeah, you had the opposite.
You didn't have to run through that.
So I'm like, I don't give an F.
Yeah.
I collect Pop. I have 400 of them now.
And
You
even
suck
same
my
for you
dick.
in a way. Even same for you in a way. Like you get to a point where in your age where you kind of just say F it to a lot of things.
Well, yeah, you just accept that what you like is what you like.
Exactly.
You get older and,
And so
You don't
like
care about what you
I will admit my collection would have been complete almost if I didn't go through that, right? I would have had more money, I would have been more confident because I know there was a lot of times. There was a time I specifically remember in middle school.
It's
there was
probably
a
some
kid,
of our fault because we made fun of you.
but like there was a kid in middle school who had a Skylander figure named Chopper, which I still don't have, and he was like,
like shoving Tanner's face in like, you nerd.
"You nerd."
He was your Skylander.
No, but he was literally
breaking up.
holding the figure outside a gym, and he's like, "Hey, does anybody want this?" And I was too scared to say it. I was too scared to be like, "Yeah, I want it for free." And I didn't take it, and I still don't have him. And
Or
I'm
it's like those moments in high school where they're like, all right, we're going to go by and you're going to say your name and name one thing that you really like. And so when it comes to you, you're like,
Scott,
I like
football.
Rated R
Football.
movies and football.
NFL.
Yeah. Which I do like football, but it's like,
But it's like, what I should have said, because it, like, when that kind of thing would happen, it was in 2012. So I was like, literally 8th grade, I think. 8th grade. So what I should have said, Skyrim.
Yeah.
I love Skyrim. No, I was like, I play football.
it's like, yeah, I love even though at that point you weren't even playing anymore and you're just like,
For real,
well, I
though.
mean, you were at that point, but no, yeah, it's like those moments where you want to seem cool or fit in, so you're just like, I love couches. I love to sleep.
I like
It's fun.
I like hot girls and effing.
Yeah.
At the age of 12.
Yeah,
I like effing.
the teacher's like, whoa, all right, counting time.
Okay.
Okay.
She's like, all right.
We need
She's
to
like,
call your parents.
she's like, all right. She goes and does her belt. Get over here.
Get over here, you freaking.
Did you guys ever have a teacher hit you?
No.
No, you did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Multiple. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, dude,
was
she
like, hey,
pulled on my
something
pants and just like
Pulled down
something,
my pants and
some-
grabbed this long thing and just was like,
something was hitting me, dude. I don't know what it was. Something was hitting me
I
way
realized
deep
I
there.
liked it though.
I realized I liked it and now I'm here, hiding my feelings.
Still think about it to this day.
I want to see her again.
I miss her so much. She's dead now. She was so old.
Miss Jensen.
She offed herself after what she did to me.
She got hung.
Yeah,
Firing squad. Firing squad.
Hey.
No, Utah is the only state that still does firing squads.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Go.
It's really jacked up.
Do you guys know how firing squad works?
They put one bullet.
It's only one bullet.
No. All of the bullets work, except for one.
No. It's the
I think
opposite.
it's the opposite.
No, it's not.
No, yeah. So they're all.
No.
I'm in law enforcement right now.
No. I promise you, one bullet will not kill someone unless they hit.
No, Hasten, I promise you. I'm in law enforcement right now. We learned
I'm
about
pretty
literally
sure
last
it's that,
week. They all have rifles,
Yeah,
and they're aimed at his head.
They're just plain.
So
But imagine if that one bullet misses,
and he's like,
They're like, oh, frick, somebody.
well, no. So they do restrain him. He has a thing up, so he can't move. Like if he can't like dodge the bullet. Frick! Don't stop shooting me.
I don't know how active it is either at this point.
I don't think Utah doesn't.
I don't think they've really used. I mean, we
killings.
still technically could, but I don't think.
I don't think we do.
Actually
No,
it.
I think it's been a while since we've done our last one.
Yeah, because like that is insane. I remember hearing about that. I'm like, why in the world?
So
would
they're
they
all
still have
blanks besides one, and and the officer doesn't know if he has the real one or not.
you know though.
Well, yeah. Well, they say after you shoot the gun, you can feel.
Yeah.
Of course.
I've shot a lot of guns, and I
You'd
can
know
tell
if
the
it was a
difference
blank.
between. So I've shot blanks,
Uh-huh.
and I've shot real bullets.
You can
tell the difference.
They're all lined up.
They're like, so
And
this
one
is the
and one
difference.
guy's-
Okay, this I'll just do like a reaction. So this is like a blank. It's like, and then this is like if you're shooting like just a regular 9mm, like which you're not. You're shooting a rifle.
Yeah.
It's like, bang. It's like
I can
you
just
know the
imagine-
difference,
dude. When I picture this, I just picture people dressed up like they're in the Civil War or something for some reason, and they're all
Ready!
like, yeah, ready,
Aim!
fire! Yeah. And then one guy's gun goes like this, and they're like, I wonder which one it was.
One guy goes like flying backwards.
well, none of us have to feel bad.
It's like none of us have to feel bad. It's like one guy's in tears. He's like, I know it was me. What the frig are we talking about?
They blindfold everyone, and then one of the officers just comes and drops a bullet into one of the guns. He's like,
Nobody's
ah!
Anyway, alright, what are we talking about?
Why are we talking about firing squad?
I really don't know
How do we get to death penalty?
Anyway,
Oh yeah, because
collection.
Hasten's teacher was effing him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is the funniest
and then they hung her, and then firing
Oh
squad.
my gosh. Yeah, in Utah, that can happen.
Honestly,
This is the funniest moment of the show. We need to clip this and just send it
clip
out.
it.
Send it out
Clip
to
it,
everyone.
Jack.
Anyway, what were you saying, Shannon?
I don't remember how I got to.
Well, should we move on to what we were talking about with like
Well, yeah,
boxes?
that's what. Well, no, because so anyway, so Skylanders, blah blah blah. That's my main collection, obviously. I'm really close to completing it, but if I go back in time, since we talked about like before, of course, football cards not really, but then Pokemon, I was way into it. I was gonna bring it in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got a thick
I forgot you
freaking
like
tin. Like,
So you were into
container.
football. You were into Pokemon cards. Me and him were into NFL
Yeah,
cards.
me and
Exactly.
were cool, man.
Yeah.
Football.
You guys used to make fun of me because of that too.
You nerd Pokemon.
Forget-
And now I'm sitting here like, I need the Pikachu.
Now I'm
amiibo.
like, Pokemon Go. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, for real.
There's a Pikachu.
Like, you say they have a Mewtwo amiibo at Target?
But yeah, it's a pretty big tin. I mean, I've got quite a bit. I actually have them like organized by like HP. But of course that ended. That ended a long time ago. I'm
What a
pretty sure.
freaking
That's just funny. Is
guys,
that
it is.
I'm pretty sure my Pokemon collection ended around the time that I started Skylanders. So, because like I couldn't do both at the same time. It's too much money for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But and then
If
like
you don't have money.
Pirates, of course.
He's gonna have a
Lego.
birthday money.
Yeah, Pirates, of course, and then like Lego and stuff. But if I had to do one, like you guys are saying, and I don't have the money, it'd be Disney Infinity. I've always been interested.
Oh.
It's along the lines of Skylanders. It's the same idea.
You wouldn't
Plus,
have
I
much
just love
game
Disney.
value from it.
Exactly.
It would be just for the figures.
And like that's kind of what Skylanders is for me now. I don't think I've like legitimately been like putting them on for a while.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, it's like, is Disney Infinity even playable anymore? Like
I
the
don't
newer
think so.
ones? I think you could play like the base.
Parker
game.
bought Disney Infinity 3.0, which came out 4 years ago, for $2. at
Yeah,
Toys R Us.
it was insane. How
The
much-
starter pack.
Remember FYE had tons of the Disney Infinity ones, and it was like 90% off. It said it. Like right there. Like
giant white thing that said 90% off, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this. Like I'm gonna buy all 3 of these packs because they all had different characters.
Yeah,
And I took it up there, and they're like, "No, this isn't 90% off."
like it's
I'm like,
$100. Like, excuse me?
I pointed at it, and I was like, "Look at that!" And it was literally an entire like, you know how they have the sections,
Yeah, the whole
right?
section,
The
yeah.
whole section. It was literally just like 25 feet of Disney Infinity, and on above it just said 90%
like,
off.
And it's like you're really not going to let me just walk out with this. You're gonna have
doing
this
you a
forever.
favor. I'm clearing inventory.
I'm clearing inventory for you. Those boxes will sit there for the next 20 years.
They really will.
There
Until
are
you
dead
truly
bodies in
mark
there.
them
Them off to 90% off, they're gonna sit there.
Yeah. Nobody's going to buy a dead game that is like offline and unplayable.
And it's one thing I wish I would have gone into a while
Is it
ago.
offline?
I don't know. I swear I heard something though that it's like
that'd
the
be
newer
crazy.
versions you can't even play or something.
Yeah.
Or something like it might be that 3.0 is digital. Like it's a card. It's not like a disc based thing, and so like you can't even download it or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. But there's something like that.
And I wish I would have gotten into it earlier, especially when Toys R Us was around, because there were so many I could have got for so cheap.
You know what it is? Sorry, real fast. It's that Infinity, the company that made it, is
gone.
Gone.
It's Disney
They're dead.
Interactive.
So it's like if there's any bugs in the game, they can't do anything. It's just done.
Like my game keeps crashing every time I click on it. But
It's like deal with it. Sorry.
we're gone.
Who's throwing out the patch? Oh, no one. Okay.
Not Disney. Wow. Okay. Selfish. You guys have the money.
Thanks, dicks.
Yeah.
Freaking Dixony.
Yeah, that's your new name.
Dumbo.
Did you guys like them both?
No,
That's pretty good.
not really. Yeah, that's actually something we forgot to kind of talk about real fast, but it was.
The beginning was okay.
I was.
It got weird.
I'm glad I didn't go see it because
I wasn't
I
a huge
never
fan.
got into Dumbo. I never liked Dumbo.
Yeah, me
So I
neither.
was this was something I was like, I'm not just gonna skip out on. Like,
Out
it
of-
doesn't seem like something I want to see.
Out of all the classic Disney properties, Dumbo is probably one of my least favorites.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a huge fan in the
sure.
movie.
I would say
whatever.
it's one of the worst Disney movies in recent history.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because Disney is amazing with their movies, and it's not like
Here's the thing. It's not bad.
it's not bad.
It is not bad, but it is not good. Like it's not.
I wouldn't go see it.
I wouldn't even say it's like mediocre. I'd say it's
So what you're telling
Right
me
below
is
mediocre.
wait till it comes on Netflix
Right.
and maybe watch it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Or is it
It-
worth my time?
it's
I don't
probably
know.
like. Did you ever see Wrinkle in Time? It's probably along the same lines.
No, Wrinkle in Time was not worth your time either.
But that was Disney as well.
Yeah. Is Disney pins,
Disney pin.
which are the Disney pins from Disney theme parks.
Yours is easily
Which-
the.
Your biggest.
The
Yeah,
best.
mine's the biggest. I freaking have loved Disney pins.
I haven't been able to do it as much
Just
as
'cause you
guys,
just
though,
got into
because,
it.
Like,
Well, first of
And you
all,
have
I go to
not as much.
Disneyland like
once in 10 years.
now. I think I'm gonna end up starting to go more. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know,
Because
that's kind of how it works. But before that, you guys would literally go every year, sometimes twice a year. Like
It was mostly once a year, but
Mostly
it was once a year for like
at
a long
least
time.
once a year
Yeah.
for a solid 10 years.
Yeah,
You know
It
what
was
I
for a
mean?
while.
Whereas I went once in 10 years. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So I
Yeah,
didn't
that
get
was
to
our family
experience it.
vacation. Like when we'd go on a family vacation, it'd be for Disney.
And yeah, you never. Because the last time you went to Disneyland, you did get Disney pins.
I did get pins.
It was
I
the
bought-
one.
I bought five or six.
Five or
pins.
six, yeah. And then even when we went to Comic Con, I know you
I
got
bought
some.
3 at Comic Con,
Yeah.
which I wish I would have bought more now that I look back at it because I
They're
want
so
my
cheap.
pin. Yeah, they're really cheap. My pin board's like nothing right now, so I want to get more.
Yeah, and Disney is a great thing to get into as far as collections with anything, like
Yeah.
because there's so much you can get, and if you like a certain,
And there's
thing,
variety. Like if you don't
Yeah.
like Dumbo, well, that's
Get
no
Marvel,
problem. That's
yeah.
always gonna be Marvel.
especially
It's
now. I
always-
mean, you have so much variety.
yeah.
Yeah.
But with Disney pins, I would say football cards were probably the first thing we were kind of like. It was one of those things we were brought into.
Mm-hmm.
And then Disney pins, though, when we first started going to Disneyland, that was something I kind of did on my own. I feel
Yeah,
like
me and you.
where I saw them and I was like, "Whoa, these are really cool." And I remember what started it for me is I had like 1 or 2 pins that I had just gotten maybe from my.
It was the
parents or whatever.
trading.
There was this guy. We went to the Jedi Training Academy, and there was this random guy. Like Tanner went up to go fight Darth Maul or whatever, Darth Vader. And I'm sitting there, and there's this random dude who's like, "Oh, I see you got some pins," and I'm like,
Give me
"Oh
it."
yeah," and he's like, "Come with me to my hotel." No, no, he was
Oh,
like,
he gave you the
yeah, no, he
airplane
was
one.
a super nice guy. He was really nice, and he was just like, he's like, this pin is like a Air Force pin or something. He's like, I got it in my time in the Air Force or something. He's like, I want to give it to you to start your pin collection. And I remember being like,
So he
"Whoa."
kind of.
That's do you still have that?
Yeah, I still have
that's
it.
awesome.
No,
What's
I
funny,
threw
too,
it
is-
away. I sold it for.
I remember this. It was like
Yeah.
a really tender, cool moment.
Yeah, it was really cool. He's a really cool guy, and I
It was almost
remember
like in the
thinking,
movies.
Do you know his name?
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
Do you remember what he looks
I was
like?
like 6
Jack.
years old. I don't remember. But he
It's crazy
gave.
that these guys these people like this just kind of like start things
Influence
and
them.
influencers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Well,
crazy.
I think like
He's nice people. It makes you want to be like.
I think he was
Yeah.
really into like fitness or something. Do you like fitness? fitness balls in your mouth.
I was like, where's this?
Yeah,
You're asking a 300-pound man if he's into fitness.
And I was like, what the frick are you even
And I was like,
talking
oh
about?
wait, yeah, I am fitness. My balls in your mouth.
But anyway, yeah. So he gave me that pin, and I was like, "Oh, thank you," you know.
And then I
that's
think
what
you
kinda
told
started
me,
it.
yeah, because
Yeah, and
we
then I
both
was-
got into it at the same time.
Yeah, because he showed me he had a freaking lanyard full of pins. And I remember
His
I remember
nipples
looking at
were
it.
pinned.
He nippled his pin.
He nippled his pins.
He
He
pinned
put
his
nipples
nipples.
on his pins. Like,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes!
Russell.
No, but he.
I want to give you this.
It was insane. I remember looking at it, and it's kind of like how when you maybe saw a wall of pops or something.
It was like,
I looked at it, I was like, that is so freaking cool. Just a lanyard full of pins, and I was like, that looks dope. And I saw so many cool ones, and he gave me that airplane one, and it wasn't a Disney one, but it was still cool, and I was like, that's awesome. And so that's what got me into it. And
I
ever
remember
since then, I've been
I
getting
stole pins from my piano teacher.
them. You are a horrible
There was
person.
Thief.
There was pins like sitting on this book. They were like lighthouses, and I took them off and took them home. And I still have them. I can go get
Sitting
them.
in
Literally.
She's gonna be watching this, and you're gonna have to go give them back.
You're like, I'm sorry, Miss.
Miss Butts. She had a carrot. She had a kid. She taught named Rufus.
Yeah, I remember that. It was always funny too, because she's like, "Come here, Rufus."
Still the funniest teacher name I've ever heard is Connor's health teacher, which is
Oh, Mr.
Mr.
Siemens.
Siemens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds of that? You got to
Mine as well.
You're like, you changed your name,
Yeah.
didn't you?
There's also
Sorry if you watched this,
one of
Mr.
the
Siemens.
one of the main subs at our schools was Mr. Ball. Did you ever
Yeah,
have him?
Mr. Harry Ball.
Harry Ball. Straight up. His
So I
first
had
name's Harry.
My woodworking teacher in junior high. His name was his name
Mr.
was
Got
Thick
Wood.
Wood.
His first name was Dick. Can you guess his last name?
Off.
Head.
Dickhead.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why he said off, but his name's
Dick off.
Dick off.
Oh, your parents are.
Your parents are kind of a-holes.
They're like,
What should we name him? Cut him. Cut off.
it's like,
Here. Cut off here.
You're like, that's a bullcrap name. Anyway,
We were talking about.
let's talk
collections.
about the boxes. I do want to talk about that because that's a big thing for collectors is. So what's your guys' stance on like, do you keep everything mint on card or are you okay with people taking
I
it?
say
mine-
you talk about. I say we talk about why boxes are important first.
So,
Well, they make it more valuable.
yeah, it's just more
Well,
value.
okay.
That's it. That's really all that
That's it.
could be useful.
Yeah.
So I'll start with mine because mine is kind of interesting. So pop figures are different because you can open a pop.
Yeah.
And you can close it and it's like no one even knows. There's a couple pops though that do have seals, and if there's ever a seal on a pop, I will not open it.
What kind of seal? Like a brown seal?
It's usually like just a small piece of tape right here, but it's more like people will know. Like if you're a real collector, you'll know that
You'll
it's
see,
taped
like-
So
over.
you would be able to tell if it was.
I have a couple that are taped, and I'm not opening them.
Would you be able to tell if it was opened? Like if the seal was broken and then
I'm sure, and there's people who freaking.
I could
can
tell.
inspect
I could
it.
tell personally. Like obviously, if you gave it to like a 12-year-old, they wouldn't know. But all of my pops are in box, and every time I get a pop, I make sure that the box nice. Box nice. Like when I got this Stanley, I actually got him today. I had him give me 3 different pops because
To check
because like I got
the same
one
way.
and the corner was ginger, and now I'm looking at this one and the bottom's kind of dinged.
Yeah,
But
I hate that.
like 3 different ones before I got like one that I actually wanted. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. So for me, the biggest reason over anything else, I mean, obviously value is huge, but the biggest thing for me is that for my Amiibo specifically, I love the way they look in the box.
In the box.
Like, for a lot of my collections, I think they just look cooler in the box, period. Like, they look more colorful. There's the cool background.
It's not like something you're gonna play with.
No, yeah, it's not.
You're not gonna go play.
I'm
with
not 5. I'm not gonna be.
You're not gonna
banging my characters
set up
together.
a gum like some like the turtle and just be like with Mario. Like,
Yeah, like, but this is a real life Smash match. Like, yeah,
I broke the amiibo.
yeah, it's
this
like
is real life Smash Bros.
The thing is, I will
More power
say,
to you if you do that.
I will say, I don't think they're meant to be played with.
No.
The Toys to Life, because even like Skylanders,
Well, a lot of
They're
the
meant to
things,
go like this.
even on Skylanders, they tell you. I remember in the first game, I was always scared because on the warning it says don't touch the bottom, because the bottom of Skylanders
Has
had
the NFC chip.
Have the NFC chip, and it was like blue or it was like green. And I used to be so particular about it. I used to like wash them off and then like stick them on, but now I'm gonna just like throw them in the box when they're out of box because it's like I know it's not gonna like
yeah.
fully damage it, but I know they're not meant to be played with. Like the Toys to Life.
I think a lot of the things we collect, like Pops, Amiibo, Skylanders, all those are like
collectibles.
Figurines.
Yeah.
They're figurines. Like they're not. Like this is completely different. This is an action figure. That if you want to,
because it's got joints,
it's got weapons, it got articulation. I mean, I keep those in the box. Another collection I have, by the way, is the Arkham figures from the Batman games.
You can't move this guy's arms. You can't,
exactly.
Move his head around.
It's like I keep my Batman figures in the box for the same reason I keep my
they're for
Amiibo.
display.
They're for display. They look cool. Like I'm not going to play with them, and they look cool in the box. Like also, those aren't statues. They wouldn't stand on their own that well. So it's not like I don't want to have to set them all up, and like I just want them in the box and they're perfect in there.
Yeah, you can look at them just plain and fine. Like they look great.
Looks awesome. Yeah, and so that's why I prefer to keep my stuff in the box usually. Also, more value. You know?
And I forgot to mention, I also collect the Destiny figures like that.
Oh yeah,
they have the figure. They have the joints and stuff.
I have one of them.
Yeah, I know. You got for free.
It's just been sitting under a thing forever.
You should just give it to me for like $5.
I might do it now at this point because I'm trying to get rid of collectibles.
There are a few things that I'm
ones
like
that I don't need.
I'm okay with taking out of the box or off card or whatever. For example, like there are some people that keep their Disney pins on the card, like, and they won't take them off the card.
Crazy.
That seems ridiculous because it's like it's literally you just. And it's off,
and there's no way to tell.
And you can put it right back. Like it's just like pop.
And I will admit, I keep all the cards. I don't know about you.
I do too, but
keep
I
all
don't.
the cards.
There's only.
I have them. I don't know where they are.
I stuck them in my pinned book. To where, like,
if
I ever wanted to, I could.
I should get a pinned book.
You should.
I have a pin book, but I prefer having them on display. On.
Yeah, I do too. Like now, in my pin book, I don't have any pins. I just have the.
I have ones for trade. I never got to do the trade thing when we went to Disney. So I'm like, I've been pumped because I want to go, but I have.
Do you have traders?
I have 15 that I can just trade.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
I think we all do now.
Yeah, I usually, as a Christmas present to my family, I usually get them like traders, like 5 traders. Yeah, that's a really fun topic.
But you can order them on Amazon. Like 25 are like
15
nothing, and it's usually sometimes. I actually kept 10 of them.
You said Amazon. And she was like, "Hello."
I kept 10 of them, and then like 15 of them I have for trading. So like I actually got some from just the order I got. You know. So
yeah, that's what I usually do. That's for the thing I get like for $15 I can get like 25.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. But it's usually trash, but
yeah, they're usually
they're good trading.
They're for trading.
Yeah.
I got Stitch. Stitch is cool.
Yeah.
I like Stitch.
And you can sometimes get cool ones for trading. Like there was a couple at trading I got that I was like, whoa, why is this person?
Well, what we're gonna mention is the workers have to trade with you.
Yeah, they can't say no.
He got one of the cool Halloween ones of Mickey that I wanted. I noticed it, and then you got it right before me because the workers have to trade with you.
I can't do this with you guys because you guys are gonna be like, I seen that first.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like kind of go separate. It's whoever gets it first.
It's the thing, Connor knows where all the stand things are, so he's gonna like know everything.
I have detective vision, dude.
And like 10 seconds is I already checked them all.
By the way, it's becoming a running gag with Amazon always, or freaking Alexa always asking us questions during the show.
Does it go by Alexa on this one?
No, I think it's Amazon.
Amazon. Hi.
F yourself.
Hello.
We just like to talk to Amazon sometimes.
We don't have any other friends.
But, and then, for example, there's a few Amiibo, like, rare exceptions where if I love the character enough, like King K. Rool, he's one of my new favorites from Ultimate, I got 2. Which I got one for on card, never going to open, never going to touch, perfect condition, box, you know, and then, or package, and then
I think
one
we might
to open.
all do that now. Like, get duplicates, just in case.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that. Like, collectors do that sometimes if they really want to open one.
Well, and I even have duplicates also for, like, trading or selling. That way, if like, because I know they're worth a lot.
That's another thing too. Is like if you have 2, you might.
That way, I'm not like having to sell the one that I want.
Yeah, and I
like this one is worth a lot, but I only have one.
I do that a lot too. If I know something's gonna be worth something, I'll get one for myself and then one to sell.
Right.
I do that all the time, and then you can make bank off of not bank, but like quite a bit off of a duplicate. You know, sometimes.
Well, so what I want to mention about boxes real quick is what sucks is since I started my Skyline collection so early. I opened them all because I was young, right? I would tear open the boxes too. I wouldn't even like leave them in nice condition. I just like take out the figure and then throw the rest away. Freaking basketball Kobe into the garbage. Like
they're gone.
So I literally have probably a majority of my Skylanders, 150 or so, that are out of box. Like, just stacked and, like...
Kobe!
Yeah.
Don't need this!
And so, like, my mindset now
there goes value.
Is I prefer in-box. Because, like you said, the value goes up. See, what sucks about this one is I actually...
Which is weird because value, because, like, We're not gonna sell these.
Yeah, that's the thing is we like them.
This is what I was gonna mention real quick because like this one, I wish I didn't open because I did when I.
But that one has awesome box art too.
Right, it's got. That's why this one's worth so much is because of the specific one change. Right, it makes it worth more.
One, it just looks cool.
Like, yeah, and it's cool. I mean, it's chaos. It's the main bad guy.
Like boxes are some of my favorite things about certain collectibles. Like
look how much time they put into this.
This Pirates box is so cool looking. Like I just love all the details they have and like all the other products you can get.
Yeah,
I forgot about the ship.
Yeah, like the Dreadeye Phantom.
I used to have the ship.
Dreadeye Phantom, the Stormstalker. Freaking so sick, dude. And they always came with the CD for the computer, which is really funny.
Is that one still in there?
Yeah, still in there. That one's mint in box. So.
Well, and so
and this Stan Lee pop. My favorite thing about it is the box. You know what I mean? I have never seen a pop that has literally just gold metallic writing on it.
Well, and you found out when you opened it that
it's got like an Excelsior thing on the back here.
Yeah,
really
which
cool.
is unique to
which is obviously pops. Stan Lee. So.
Well, and like my mindset now is if I'm buying from like a lister on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, I prefer inbox, right? That's what my preference. I say I prefer inbox. But if they're not, I'm still gonna get them. If it's to complete my collection, I'm still gonna get them because I have that mindset as well now where I'm like, I'm never gonna sell these. I know I'm not because that's why I'm collecting them. So if they're out of box, I don't care so much.
I would never get a pop out of box.
Yeah, I'm the same way with like the Arkham figures or like Amiibo. It's different because Smash Bros. I want all of them in box. I have to have all of them in box. But then if I have duplicates that are all out of box, I'm fine with that. But I wouldn't, like, if I didn't have, for example, Bayonetta Player 2 is the one Smash Bros. One I don't have. If someone was selling her on KSL out of box, I wouldn't get her. I would want her in box, you know? I would only get her out of box if I already had her in box. Because I just want them all on my wall, you know, all
Isn't
lined
it
up.
weird to think, though, like, this right now, if I just, like, I would lose.
Just lose value.
Like, that's weird.
All
I'd have to do is just...
It is a very odd thing that, like, if you think about some of the things that create value, for example, like, what game was it that recently just sold for, like, it was the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES. And In box. And so it hadn't been opened.
Was it mint? Oh, it was mint. Okay.
Mint. It had the plastic shrink wrap still on it. It's just crazy to think that because no one opened that, all of a sudden it's... Like, you can get New Super Mario, or Mario Bros., the original, on NES for $5. You know, you can get it super cheap if you just want the cartridge or if you just want to digitally download it. You can get it for nothing. But because it has this box and plastic over it, that seems a little insane. But that just goes out to show how collectors are. Yeah, some people want it that way. And I tell you what, like, for example, like one of my favorite Arkham packs I have is like the original Arkham Asylum ones with like Scarecrow, because I love the packaging on it. And that's what made it for me. Like, I decided I wanted to get those because of the packaging. Like, I actually had a chance to get this pack of like 10 Arkham figures all loose for like $20 or something like that. And I was like, I want the box though. Like, I want to look at how cool the packaging looks and stuff.
I do agree. I do agree a lot, and that's why I prefer in-box, right? But I think just for me, if I have...
You have so many out-of-box, though. Already.
Yeah, already.
Whereas me and Connor, like, we don't have a lot of stuff that's out-of-box.
That's true. No. I do admit, if all mine were in-box from the start, I would only get in-box. I would never get out-of-box, which I understand why you guys get in-box.
I get why people get out-of-box, though, too. Like, some people just don't care, and that's fine. Like, if that's what they want, that's awesome.
And the truth is, I really do care. I mean, like, for example, we went to this place in St. George where they have, like, a figure in-box and then a figure out-of-box, and it's barely more, and I'm like, I don't want to pay cheaper for the one out-of-box. I'm just going to get the one in-box, even though it's $2 more. Like, it's worth it to me, you know? Which is weird, because, like you said, boxes are cool. Like, they put a lot of time into these boxes. Like, I was even just looking at this.
Yeah,
like, how many
the design on it.
symbols are in there?
The design on it's really
like
cool.
Tiny symbols on the top of the box. Like, they put some serious work into this. And, like, the stuff you said on the gold... paper, like the gold paper, it's really cool. Like, they put money into that and time into that. So
yeah.
I think boxes are actually a lot cooler than people think.
The one downside of boxes, I mean, there's a few
More
downsides,
space.
but like, well, space, but also like, it is sometimes cool to like actually be able to see the figure and like look at the detail, like the back. The one in box, I can never see the back. Like, I never will. But now I get to see how cool I can feel it.
Underside of the
it's
Amiibo
like
even.
scaly. I can look at the underside. I can see his junk. You know, like I wouldn't get
You can touch it.
I can touch him. But yeah, anyway.
Space-wise, though, for me, like, with pop
it's
figures,
easier with boxes.
With pop figures, it's gonna be way easier with boxes because, like, with pop figures, how am I gonna put these? How am I gonna display these?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and they fall over with just like the slightest jump.
Yeah.
Or something.
How would I display these pops without a box?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That's a good
true.
point. Well, I think that was one of our best topics.
I think so.
That was
too,
a lot of
yeah.
fun.
I mean, collections
because
are
it's something we're
we're
into.
all so into collecting things. You know?
Yeah, that
since
was-
we were young, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was a really good topic. Do you guys have anything else to say about?
I will say
collections?
real quick that I just remembered one of my earliest collections actually used to be. You remember this metal things?
Oh yeah.
I used to collect metal
true.
things. Just on the side of the street, there would be like nuts and bolts and stuff.
You're like, it's metal?
collections.
What the
I want
fuck?
it. Yeah. Now that I think about it, that is true. Like, I remember even as a kid, I collected, like, feathers.
What the
Which
fuck?
is such a
No, I'm
stupid
just
thing.
kidding.
Like, I'd see feathers on the side of the road or, like, from a bird, and I'd be like, oh, cool, and I'd keep it. Or,
Even
like, a
like
snake
the-
skin.
yeah.
I used to... When we were moving out of our old house, I went in our closet, and I was like, what the frick? I literally just had a snake skin. Like, 2 snake skins. I'm like, this is disgusting. How long has this been sitting in my closet? I'm like, why did I
They're like
freaking do
molded
this?
and there's like bugs crawling all over.
Yeah, I was like, that's disgusting. I don't...
No, but like even
Yeah. I collected dead rats, dude. I just put them in my closet.
for real, freaking feces, my own poops. I know you've been
this
secretly
looks so
collecting
cool.
your poops.
I'm like, this is my biggest turn I've ever had.
Oh yeah, I
This one.
gotta petrify this one. Like a really a temporary one that we had, which is weird because we've kind of been collectors since we were young, was praying mantises. Even one day,
Yeah.
we literally one day for hours went around collecting praying mantises. We ended up with like 16.
Yeah.
I think it was.
It was
Crazy.
more than that. It was a crap ton of praying mantises. Yeah, collecting bugs was a big thing too.
Did you
We put
release
them in
them or did
habitats.
you toy with
Yeah,
them?
no, we released
You might
them
be
later.
sucking-
We effed them first, and
Yeah,
then
we effed them first, and then no,
You grabbed a pin, and you're just like,
It's like ah!
Yeah, no, we released them on this pile of rocks. We actually have a video of it, and it's insane. Like, we let them go, and it's just like 20 freaking praying
And they
mantises
all go off in
crawling.
different
It's so
directions.
creepy.
And then we effed them.
Yeah, and then we...
And then there was a twerking girl boiling.
boiling at 720 degrees. Anyway, I do...
People who don't know that joke are like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
go back a couple episodes.
watch the rest of our, 30
Watch,
hours.
nobody
of
got to that part of the episode.
Yeah,
so
nobody's seen
whoa!
it. We're the only ones that know that. Anyway, though, I think that was a really great topic. Let us know in the comments what you guys collect. What are your passions that you... What collection have you not started that you do want to start? Because we have a bunch. Hasten Magic, me... I remember what I said. Like Lord of the Rings, like nostalgic
tons.
stuff. Like, yeah, there's a ton. Like, let us know what you want to collect. If you do collect, let us know. And we'll talk. We'll shout them out on the next episode and stuff like that. So...
Yeah.
Now, we
I'm
are
sure.
at 2.5 hours, so I do have this really fun idea for Deathmatch, and it'll be super quick. It will be super quick because
We're gonna have a 3-hour episode for the first
and
time.
it's gonna be quick. Yay!
I'm fine. I don't know.
I'm not tired or anything.
It will be fun because it's not going to be like a really heavy one. So I had this idea for a deathmatch we could do, especially if we're low on time. And there's this website called bestrandoms.com, and it's just a random character generator. So what this is going to do, it's going to generate 2 random characters from pop culture or whatever. And we're going to match them up against each other. We're going to do this character versus this character and who we think would win in a fight.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, or who we think would win if it was a death match between the two.
We don't
who
know
would
the
survive?
character.
Would win between the two.
They would
It's
win
gonna be
between-
like Napoleon Dynamite versus
Thanos.
Thanos.
Oh, Napoleon. all the
With
way.
his bow staff together.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and generate one. So I have no idea who it could be, and if we don't know who they are, we're gonna just keep generating until we do. But let's see. Okay, no, we're not gonna, because I know one of those, but I don't think any of us know the other one. Huh. Okay, I think you guys might know this. So, randomly generated from bestrandoms.com, we got Spock from Star Trek.
Okay.
And John Rambo
Yeah, Rambo.
from Sylvester Stallone from First Blood. So, in
Oh,
a
Spock.
death match, if you dropped
an
him,
alien.
pretend you dropped him into a battle royale, freaking Hunger Games situation. Spock versus Rambo. Who's going to win?
Now, what does Rambo have?
So, Rambo got guns.
No, but do they all have all their own weapons?
I say they have their weaponry. If like
they have everything they
like
usually
if you
have.
dropped Tony Stark in there, he has to have the Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like
Tony Stark.
oh frig, I'm screwed.
Tony Stark versus Iron Man.
So I gotta go with Spock.
Yeah, me
I
too.
mean, he's literally an alien. He's got laser guns.
He's smarter.
Like, he's literally
intelligent.
like he's a genius.
He can outsmart Rambo in every because Rambo's pure aggression. Like
Yeah.
he's not
Bang,
gonna
bang,
know.
bang, bang.
He's just gonna be like, oh, and Spock's just gonna be like, dodge.
And I think Spock has some kind of like shield thing that he can like put up.
I'm sure he could like with a
translocator or something.
weapon or something. Yeah.
He's also got the Spock grip.
I wish I knew
Yeah.
more about it, but like,
The truth is, I don't think any of us
pretty
do.
sure.
well, I mean, he has. I'm sure he could have like a weapon. He doesn't have like magical
Plus,
abilities.
he's got his phaser. Like,
Does he have the Starship Enterprise?
What I say is, I say we drop them into a Hunger Games situation.
Okay.
Like they're in a jungle. Drop them into a circular jungle. That's all they got. And now I will say this about John Rambo: if they are dropped into like a Hunger Games jungle, John Rambo, that's how he thrives.
That's how he
dude.
does, yeah.
That's what those movies are. Is he?
okay, are we
surviving
saying jungle though? I say just like a Hunger Games flat world.
a flat world's a little different. A flat world, I might still pick John Rambo because all he freaking machine guns Spock from a distance.
Phaser.
Yeah.
It's really
Phaser
tough. I
probably
think
travels
I'm
faster.
still gonna go with what's his name?
Spock.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
this
think
is
I
actually
still
a
choose
really
Spock
good
because he's
matchup.
old. He's an alien. He's
Now I
smart.
definitely could see Rambo taking it because of like his insane skills and the
Yeah.
insane stuff he does in that movie, and like he's kind of in his environment. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like he would have the home field advantage in this situation.
Yeah.
Spock's home field advantage is a starship.
Is Vulcan?
You know,
it's the space.
It's space. Like
he's not in space.
he's
here.
not in space. I think Spock would actually be at a disadvantage. I wouldn't be surprised if Rambo took this because
I'm still gonna go with Spock.
I
I
am
think.
too.
I think Spock.
Spock.
I think Spock would
Spock is Spock.
I think Spock would outsmart him at the end of the day. I think Rambo would be hunting him. Spock would be waiting up in the
set up a
tree
trap
and
or
pounce.
Do you remember that? Sorry, real quick. Do you remember that part on Office where he's like, "Oh man, Robin Williams. I wish I could go head to head with that guy. My name's Spock from Spock. Well, my name's Spock from Spock."
I don't remember.
I kind of do. I can't remember exactly how it goes. But.
Yeah.
Speaking of John Rambo, though, one of my favorite like meme pictures is him with the guns when it's just his thumbs. Though he's like, have you guys seen that?
Wait, just his thumbs?
It's like they take away the gun and just do his thumbs.
No,
Have you guys seen
I don't
this?
think so.
Oh my gosh, I guess gotta show you this real fast.
I've never seen this.
Look, so they removed the guns from the situation.
Oh, I've seen
He's just like,
Oh yeah, the one. It looks like he's like. I didn't know that was a Photoshop without his gun.
yeah. No, so
I
that's
always
not,
thought it was a picture of him actually just giving
no.
thumbs up.
So he normally has a machine gun right there, but they photoshopped it out to where it just looks like he's giving a thumbs up. All right, so we all in agreement that Spock would win?
Yeah, Spock.
All right, well, Spock would win.
Spock's
Spock takes
the
first round of that death match.
Spock wins.
Count Dracula or Aragorn?
Is that really the
Count
next one?
Dracula.
Yeah, that came up.
Dracula. Yeah.
Dracula.
I mean, Aragorn's human.
Aragorn, yeah, literally.
Dracula could literally turn into bats and then freaking like shoot fire.
Dracula's like insanely powerful.
Yeah.
Granted, though,
Dracula.
Aragorn did beat like 3 of the 9.
Yeah.
Nah.
Dracula's
insane.
Dracula, yeah. And yeah, Dracula.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if it was during the day, though, Dracula would be screwed. But
You'd have to hide.
we can't take that into account. What the frig? This is a horrible one. Wolverine versus Carl Fredrickson from Up.
Carl Fredrickson.
Yeah, I think so
you got to
too.
think about this.
Yeah.
Just
No,
be
by
in
the
the
way,
air. How's Wolverine gonna get there?
Yeah.
So Carl automatically
Wolverine's
wins.
just like, dang you!
Dang you! And then all Carl Fredrickson
Drops-
drops the house on
yeah,
top of
drops.
him.
There we go.
Dude.
And then cuts off his
but
head with
you
his
know what?
cane.
You know what? Wolverine, the house would drop on him, he'd regenerate, and then just
Just cut the house open.
Not if he drops on him and immediately cuts off his head with his cane.
maybe Carl Fredrickson gets the kid.
Does Carl Fredrickson come with the kid and the bird?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Does he come with the kid and the bird? Because he could just have the kid sit on.
He gets sick him on Wolverine. Kid, go get him. And
I think this would be a much more interesting matchup.
not in reality, no.
Dude, if Carl came to the house though.
No, okay, we're doing Hunger Games style here.
Yeah.
Imagine if you drop Carl Fredrickson's Wolverine
And Logan
and then the Logan version of
Yeah.
Wolverine.
rips them apart.
Could you imagine It's like
Ellie, I'm coming for you.
Imagine like on Apex or like on the Hunger Games how they're like now approaching or like here welcome your champion or whatever and it's like it shows Wolverine and then it's like against and it shows Carl Fredrickson.
He's like. And it shows him drop. It's like,
dude, Carl Fredrickson would be dropping in the house. He'd just be slowly coming down. Wolverine would drop full force like meteor into the house.
And Carl Fredrickson's like,
yeah. Wolverine just looks up.
And Wolverine just freaking claws through the balloons.
This is my favorite thing we've ever done.
That was a fun one.
Okay.
I want to keep going, but we should probably wrap up.
No,
Do one more.
Okay.
I like these.
I don't know that one. Oh my gosh. Mr. Bean versus Shrek.
I mean Shrek.
Shrek, obviously. Mr. Bean's freaking dude.
Mr. Bean wouldn't know what the frick to do.
Mr. Bean is like us going against Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek's an ogre.
But just imagine
Shrek's an ogre.
Shrek drops and it's like, this is my swamp.
What are you doing in my swamp?
And Mr. Bean's just like,
Mr. Bean's like, yeah, Mr. Bean's just like,
It kills him with kindness. Shrek's like, oh! And then Mr. Bean just goes and like assassinates him.
Dude, Mr. Bean would be like, it's a race. Just start running. Just like, yeah, he wouldn't know what the freak to do.
Mr. Bean's like an onion. He has layers.
Yeah, dude, Shrek would tear Mr. Bean apart. So winners so far we got
Shrek,
Wolverine. Who was the first one?
Spock. Now throw them all in
and Count Dracula.
Count Dracula. Now let's take all the losers and see who would win
out of all of those. What would you say the closest match is? Because I would actually
Rambo Spock.
Yeah,
No.
for sure.
But
I don't know. Carl versus Wolverine.
Not in reality. I think as a joke.
Carl, you got to give Carl some advantages here. The house, the kid,
the dog,
the dog,
the blimp.
Yeah. Carl,
the entire Avengers cast.
Let's do one more.
All right, one more. Don't know that one. I know one of those, but oh my gosh, we're getting Spock again. I know one of these. Well, we can use. What the frig? That's it's basically Seth Rogen. Ooh, we could do. Oh, here's a good one. Marty McFly from Back to the Future or Gollum from Lord of the Rings. This is a weird one.
I feel like Marty McFly would win.
I feel like Gollum would.
Because Gollum, but Gollum's just like a link. You could grab his lip.
So we got to pretend here, though, Marty McFly doesn't. Are we giving Marty a DeLorean? Or
It wouldn't matter.
Because if Marty McFly could go back in time,
he's like Gollum sleeping with the ring.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you know what? Marty McFly. If Marty McFly had the DeLorean, he'd go back in time to when Gollum was a baby, and then just off him when he's a baby. That'd be horrible.
You freaking little!
Like, I have to win the Hunger Games.
Marty McFly.
Does he have the DeLorean?
Let's say he doesn't have the DeLorean. If it's just,
I still
Marty
think I go with
Okay,
Marty
and
McFly.
Gollum doesn't have the ring then.
Okay, Gollum doesn't
Can't
have
go invisible and nothing.
I think Gollum would, because I think he'd go freaking psycho because he doesn't have the ring.
I'm gonna go with Marty.
I'm going Gollum.
I'm going Gollum as well.
Oh, you mother effer.
This is fun. But...
One more game.
Yoda versus Samwise Gamgee.
That's not even close.
Yoda would just force him away.
Yeah, Samwise would be like, I'm here, Yoda! Sarah Connor versus Willy Wonka.
Sarah Connor.
Who's Sarah Connor?
Terminator.
She's the girl.
She's the girl in
Terminator.
Terminator. Like the main, yeah. Yeah, Willy Wonka. Well, I don't know, dude. If Willy Wonka had his freaking creepy boat,
and the dreams will become dreams and the dreams.
Willy Wonka does have the edge of being insane. So,
what time are we at?
Yeah, we're at 2 hours and 40. So we better.
I want to hit 2, 3.
I bet you the camera's about to end.
Yeah, true.
Oh, I wonder if it already is. Did it? No.
Did we record this?
Yeah, we did. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up just in case if the video ended. We apologize. We had some fun doing some best randoms though. Thanks for joining us for that. If you want to hear some more best randoms, let us know. We can do that in the future for Deathmatch.
It didn't record the entire episode.
Anyway, we thank you guys for joining us. Check out our social media, right?
Our social media, once again, just at Super Basement Bros at Instagram and Super Bros Videos at Twitter. Follow us. Comment.
Episode 14.
See ya. And this was episode 14. Thank you. Yeah.
Please comment, like, subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.